What's up, everyone? Welcome back to CloudNationTV. I hope everyone is doing well. It's good to see you all.
Good to see you.
So, we got Ray here. We got Maker. Chase is joining us today. It's great to see you, man. And we got Vet coming in a bit late. He's driving his daughter to college right now. He'll catch us whenever he can. And JD's taking a little vacation, so
yeah, I saw him and the missus all dressed up, man, looking all dapper Don. He looked great. Shut out,
man. They're having great vacations. Happy for them. Awesome stuff. So I'm hoping everyone is doing well. First, we're gonna go around, catch up. What's everyone been doing? I'll just start. We're gonna go around the clock. Personally, I had vacation and went to see the family. That's why I've been gone a while, plus other stuff that happened. But in terms of gaming, my games for the last little while have been Fortnite. Of course, I've continued playing here or there, but Multiverses, I am in love with this game. I know it's not everyone's like cup of tea, but it's a platform fighter, bit of a clone of Super Smash, but multi-platform, free to play, and I'm really loving it. So, and also, yesterday I played a bit of Genshin Impact on GFN, and I might start playing this one a bit more. I'm really enjoying it. I haven't tried the touch controls yet. It's now on mobile, which is one of the things people was complaining about. It's now mobile with native touch control on it, so you can delete that phone from your phone, use it on GFN. It's going to save your battery. It's going to keep your phone cool. Awesome stuff. So, we're going to talk a bit more about that later. Ray, what about you? What you been up to, man?
Well,
surviving?
First of all, it is so good to be back on Cloud Nation TV to see Maker, DrSpaceman. Also get to have Chase here and Vet coming in here. Yeah, man, went to go celebrate my son's birthday and me and my wife's anniversary. We got a beautiful beach resort out there in Sandy. We went to San Diego, but we were staying out in Carlsbad, but we would travel from Carlsbad to San Diego, went downtown, went to the beach, Legoland for my son because he loves Legos. He got a ton of Legos that I'm stepping on right now as we speak. And
got like a Lego bath.
got back. My wife had COVID, and then I had COVID, and tested positive. I must have tested like 5 times, and it came up positive 5 times, and it was the worst. So I couldn't play games. I just laid on the couch, laid on the floor, laid in the bed. But I'm back, and I'm just grateful, and I want to thank everybody that said the good wells to me on Twitter and in my DMs. What I've been playing, I'm a sports fanatic, and I've been playing a lot of Madden 23. I got it on my PlayStation 5. It looks beautiful on the PS5, and they did do some few tweaks. I mean, it's still copied and paste from the last games, but they did add some stuff to it. Believe it or not, I've been playing a little bit of Destiny 2. Gotten some Destiny 2, and I'm loving that. Played some Rumbleverse. I've been playing the multiverse with my son, and that's our game. Me and my son, we bond and play that. And what else have I been playing? And then just excited about the games that are coming out on Gamecom. So that's what I've been up to. But it's good to be back on Cloud Nation TV, folks.
Awesome. What about you, Maker?
Yeah, I've been gaming a lot. I like a week or two back, I beat Blasphemous, which is like an indie Souls Metroidvania type game. Similar to Grime. If you like Grime, I highly recommend Blasphemous. Really good. I beat Stray recently. Played it through the PS Plus app on my PC, streaming it, and that's a very good game as well. I've been playing a lot of Fortnite with the Dragon Ball Z characters and the Kamehamehas and stuff like that. A little bit of multiverse when I can. You know, if I get downtime at work, I might sneak in a quick little match of multiverses, and I'm liking that game. It's pretty solid. I still think the roster needs a little bit more people, but it's a good start. Playing World of Warcraft because the Wrath of the Lich King Classic is coming out next month. So there's a lot of time's been spent on that. And Ray mentioned Destiny 2. I've been playing some Destiny 2 on GFN. I went to download it and saw it was like 90 something gigs, and I was like, do I really want to download it or just to stream it? And
we're going to talk a bit more about that, but I think there's going to be some cloud native stuff in the future for Destiny. We're going to talk more about that, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and so I've been playing a little bit through the Witch Queen campaign on Legendary, and just
I ain't playing on Legendary.
I want that title, and I know it's free, so I'm gonna try and beat it within the time frame and probably drop off of it because I mostly just want to see what the new story's about, and that's about it. But other than that, Final Fantasy XIV just came out with their new patch with the new raid and Island Sanctuary, and that's really cool, and been enjoying that as well.
Awesome stuff. What about you, Chase? What's up?
Well, first, let me say, Ray, I'm glad to hear that you're doing better. I'm sending you good energy and good vibes, and I hope that you continue to recover, man, because that's...
Thank you, brother.
Oh, man. As far as me, man, I've been kind of on a break for the last month from doing content and stuff. Just work has been busy. It's kind of that time of the year. We're always busy around this time. So my focus is more so on just kind of resting and recovering each night, on family. And if I get to play a game, I get to play a game. I really haven't, to be honest, I really haven't gamed all that much. The games that I have played, it's been a majority of either Super Animal Royale when I have a moment, or I may jump into Lou mode a little bit just because I've been trying to kind of finish that game up. I did start a game. Actually, that's a lie. I did just start a game recently, and I almost said Alan Wake, and that's not the name of the game. Oh my God. It's on, it's the story driven game on Stadia, and I can't think of the name of it right now. Adam Wolf.
Stadia?
Adam Wolf.
Adam Wolf.
Okay.
I have to say, really good, man. I mean, you know, it's one of those cutscene escape room style adventure narrative driven kind of games where you have to work through each scene. And I've really enjoyed it. Like, there's some games that surprise you. You look at it and go, oh, it's really simple or it's simplistic, and yeah, I'm not going to really be that interested in it. But I think what's gotten me kind of pulled into it is the story itself was actually pretty good. Like the way they broke it down, the way the story progresses, and there's 4 chapters. So when you beat the first part of it, the story continues, which I think is pretty neat too. So, you know, for folks out there that are looking for something that's a little bit slower pace, they can kind of do it at their own time. You know, they're not feeling like they got to go play, you know, Destiny as an example, since y'all were talking about that, where you got to stay up to date with what everybody else is doing, what expansion is out. That's a game that you can kind of play at your own pace, and it's kind of nice. So
awesome. Yeah, a lot of stuff happening with a lot of games. It's hard to keep up, especially like I like to branch out to a few different games, but I don't have that much time to play, and it gets rough to try to even catch up to like the battle passes, and that's not even including like the story for some of the games that they keep releasing big chunks of content. So yeah, it gets you busy. let's take a look at the chat. Who's there? So there's Megatron. Good to see you, Meg.
Hey.
What's up? We got Vet in the chat who will be joining us in a moment. He's currently traveling. Party time. Yup. Got Ray here. Woohoo! Vet's slacking as usual. Of course he is. We got Dino in the chat. What's up? Good to see you, man. Always good to see you. And Run Slusher. I'm not here for Shadow PC. What's up? No longer into Shadow PC. Good to see you, Run. Polaris Sucks. What's up, man? Welcome back to the greatest show on YouTube. Good to see you. Catching up. Apparently, Meg was gone to grab tea, so she's sorry, Ray.
No. Hey, tea is great. Tea's very good.
Great to see you, Meg. I'm glad to see you back, guys. Thank you. It's really appreciated to welcome back. It's been off for a while. We were trying to pull up shows and stuff happens, and everyone was either on vacation or busy, and
sick.
It's life. It's or sick. It's life. It's in the middle of the summer. We're still in a pandemic. There's a lot of stuff going on. So it's been kind of difficult, but now we're starting to get the gang back together, so that's good. Greatest bearded panel about cloud gaming around. Thank you so much, Dino. So we've been off for a while. There's been a lot of stuff that happened. What you guys want to start with?
Why don't we get the hot topic out of the way? Because I think everybody wants to talk about it. You know what it is. I was just talking about it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Which one specifically? There's a lot of hot topics. Are you talking about Amazon or
no? There's one that I made. So I made the grave error during my lunch today to open up Twitter, and that was a mistake because the whole thing was full of people extremely upset over the price increase of the PlayStation 5. I think that kind of dominated everything for the entire afternoon that I saw, at least. I don't know. It's interesting. I have a unique take on it, but I'll hold off.
If I'm not mistaken, for you guys in the U.S., you're not affected, right?
No.
Don't think the price is moving in the U.S.
No,
So
man. But
here in the Maple Land, it will go up by about $50, I think.
It'd be the equivalent of like $600 US.
You know, in Mexico, they're paying about $800. So, yeah,
it sucks. I'm just gonna give my opinion on this personally as a Canadian, because I am in one of the affected countries. It does suck. It's not good. But if I compare to everything else, like over here, like I'm pretty sure for you guys it's very similar, but like over here, they're saying like, oh, the inflation is about 8-9%, which is disastrous, and that's a total lie. Groceries, I'm paying way more than 40% above what I was paying last year. The inflation is beyond ridiculous. The numbers are lies. So I'm not joking. Like, I'm looking at the stuff at a grocery store. Some stuff are marked up by at least 50% compared to last year. In total, the shopping cart is a good 40% above what it was last year. Fuel is totally ridiculous. We're paying $2 a liter for gas, which is a lot of money. It's out of control. Now, CN PlayStation increase the price. Of course, it doesn't help in the current situation, but economy is rough, and that like $50 increase on the price of the console is less than 10%. So we're gonna say it's like one of the stuff that increased the least compared to everything else. But yeah, it's still not good. It's not a good move for the consumers. We know that PlayStation has so many more ways of getting profit out of this, and they're not in financial problems. That's about it. That's about my opinion. It's not good, but it's not the worst thing going around.
I'll
It's definitely
just
a
say,
bad look.
I'll just say this. Probably okay. The gaming consoles, we're not affected by inflation in the United States, but I can tell you right now, we sure hell are affected by a lot of other stuff. I mean, I went to go get some new tires on my car, and it was going to take about an hour and a half. So I went across the street to McDonald's, 2 cheeseburgers and a drink. No, 2 cheeseburgers and a fries, no drink. Damn near $11. The cheeseburger, when I took the bun was still sticking to the paper, and I'm peeling. I'm peeling, taking the wrapper off, and the bun is coming apart, sticking to the wrapper, and the burger, I couldn't even see it underneath the bun, and it was horrible. And I can't believe that this value meal or whatever they want to call it was $11 for 2 cheeseburgers and a drink, and there was no carbonation in my damn drink. I mean, the customer service sucks, and you can tell people are angry, people are upset, and it's just crazy. And groceries are horrible for us and everything out here. So yeah, it sucks right now. And they're saying gas is going down, but it ain't going down further enough. But as far as when it comes to gaming, hey, Xbox, they're sticking to their price. But I do feel sorry for the other people in the other countries that have to pay a little bit more for the PS5. That sucks.
Yeah, for me, it's not only that the increase in the console price, but also the increase in the game prices that PlayStation is also increasing. It's to me, it's a lot, and in an industry where Xbox have already said that they're not going to increase the cost of their console, and Nintendo has came out and said they're not going to increase it as well. It seems kind of daft that they would want to, cause this ill will that people would be, give them something to be upset about,
Well, I think if I remember right, Maker, you'd stop by for a little bit during my stream, but I kind of talked through, and I took a little bit of heat for it because a couple people were like, doesn't matter, BS, like you move on. This is not a big, you're focusing on the wrong thing. Here's the reality. I think the truth's somewhere in the middle. And I know that that's not what people want to hear. I'm just talking about it from a business standpoint. When the pandemic started, there was major supply chain issues. And we know that. That was a big fact. And a lot of these companies ended up aligning themselves with different suppliers and different supply chains. Now, I can't speak for Sony because I don't know. I'm not in their boardroom. I don't know what they did or they didn't do. It seems to me that Microsoft and Nintendo are doing okay as far as their supply chain and their supplier, where they're comfortable enough that they don't feel like they need to pass that cost off to consumers. Now, for Sony, is it possible that their supplier or their supply chain that they aligned with, they bet wrong? And that happens. Sometimes companies choose somebody and they realize, oh crap, now all of a sudden we just got hit with a massive cost overrun on both these components and the manufacturing cost and the cost to get it into the ports of these different markets. What are we going to do? Now, that's the one side of it, right? And again, I don't know. There's no proof. We're never going to know that. None of these companies are going to admit to that openly. They're not going to tell us what's going on or not going on unless they openly show us their portfolio. And again, we know Sony's not going to do that. So that ain't happening. Here's the other side of it. And here's the part to kind of what Maker and Ray is saying, because again, I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Consumers are going to hold companies accountable when they think that there's something nefarious going on, right? And if they feel like that they're being duped, or they feel like the company could take on some of the costs, being a multi-billion-dollar company. And also, which is interesting, and this is a valid point to bring forward, the only places where the only places where the cost increase happened were in markets except the United States. That's kind of hard to make an argument from that company standpoint, because regardless of what we hear of it here in the States, of how inflation is this massive United States problem, it's not. It's a global issue. Inflation is causing issues everywhere. It doesn't matter what market or what country you live in, it's causing problems. So you would think that it would also be a situation where Sony would say, you know what, everybody's impacted. The cost to get these PlayStations into the United States also has a cost. Therefore, we've got to raise the rates there too. So the fact that that's not happening, that's what's causing customers to go, something just doesn't smell right here. So you take both pieces. I think it's somewhere in the middle. And I think ultimately what's going to happen is customers are going to vote with their wallets. They'll go towards the products that they believe are the most cost effective. And Sony is going to have to make a decision. I know we've talked about this a few times when I stopped by here, and I know this is a really long-winded explanation, but this part's really important. While they have a lot of IP and they're the best positioned out of all of these companies going towards like the metaverse and the entertainment ecosystems, they haven't made that digital jump that Microsoft and a lot of these other companies have. They're in a really tough spot because they're hardware driven right now. So they've got to make a decision. They can't live on this path forever. So if they start seeing that units aren't moving and their shareholders start getting upset and start complaining, they're going to have to drop costs. They won't have a choice. They'll have to eat it and they'll have to cut somewhere else. So I think maybe to give some people some hope, I don't think this lasts forever, because if customers start going elsewhere, they're gonna change their minds. It'll happen very quickly. You watch.
Well, Chase, I can just tell you this. I mean, Xbox, good Lord, Game Pass, they're getting Liza P. They're getting the Kojima game. The new game that Maker, what's that game you talked about? By Ninja Teenage. Yeah, I mean, you're getting massive games on Game Pass. I mean, good Lord. And
if that Blizzard or the Activision Blizzard goes through, like Diablo 4 next year, whatever, getting the Call of Duties on the Game Pass, it's going to be a ridiculous value.
But that's competition, right? I mean, that's what's going to cause Sony, if this continues, it's going to cause them to have to make a shift. And that's all I'm saying is the market will make the movement happen. Even though we're upset in the moment, if this continues and they don't move units, oh, trust me, believe me, their shareholders won't let them get away with it. They'll have to drop the cost.
It's still overall a bad PR move. Like I think it's just like with what WB did with HBO Max, where they removed shows to cut the royalties that they'd have to pay these people. I think it was like 40 shows they removed from HBO Max, and it put a bad precedent to the point where they got trashed for it, and their stock dropped like lower than what they were trying to offset. I think they said they wanted to offset like 3 billion, and their stock dropped, I think, like 5 to 10 billion after announcing that. It's just a bad PR move in a competition where your competition is not increasing costs. It just looks bad.
But when we say PR and it's a bad move, I mean, damn if they do, damn if they don't. Then what if they said, okay, you know what? We're not going to do anything with the prices of the games. We're just going to cut jobs. So they could just, hey, start firing people inside the industry to, save money.
Here's just one other thing for. Okay, go ahead, Maker.
I was just going to say, then if they need to up the costs, it means that they're not being efficient. If all the other companies, all the other competition is not lowering costs, it means they're more efficient than that company. And then maybe their cut should be made. Maybe management decisions need to be made to change Sony.
One of the thing, and if it's the case, it's a pretty dirty tactic, but like I've mentioned earlier, like all the essential stuff has gone way up in prices. Here in Canada, we're having it pretty hard. I'm pretty sure you guys in the United States are having pretty hard there as well. And having the PlayStation 5 going up in price by that amount, we actually barely perceive it because it's a luxury item that you need to buy once. It's not something you need to buy weekly. on a weekly basis to fill up like your cupboard and fuel up your gas and everything, and it's a luxury item. So people are so fed up with all of the other stuff that have gone way too high in prices that Sony announced the PlayStation 5 prices going up. It's like, okay, it's just another thing on a big pile of crap. And people will barely even remember that this happened. They'll see the price of the console. It's like, yeah, everything is way more expensive right now. Just accept it, which is not a good optic, but it kind of plays in that balance. And also, the other thing is, I don't know if you guys, if that's resolved, but over here, I go in stores, I'm starting to see some Xboxes, Series S, a lot of places, Series X once in a while. Still barely can find a PS5. I saw a PS5 the other day at the pharmacy, like at the drugstore. Stopped in the parking lot. My wife went in to grab a prescription, saw one in the window. And that's the only time in a few months I've seen a PS5 on the shelf. There is still no stocks over here whatsoever. So even if they bring out the cost, we can't buy it. It's not available anywhere, and it's still selling out everywhere. So my guess is Sony just decided to take an extra cut because the consoles are going to sell anyway, and maybe they need those funds for something. It's not a good optics.
I don't know that that's assured though, but I mean, I think what Maker said is the most important point out of this is that it's efficiency. And I want to go back to what I said earlier about the supply chain thing. It's very possible that the reason that they can't get out enough of these consoles, like let's take the demand out of it. We know the Series X has demand as well, and they're still able to meet that demand fairly, I don't want to say fairly well, but they're doing a good enough job, Microsoft is, which means they've got an efficient supply chain, an efficient manufacturer, and they're getting components at a relatively, I don't want to say efficient price, but a price that is to them sustainable, right? It's enough for them to be able to justify to their shareholders, yeah, we might be taking a little bit of a hit, but you know what? It's not, in the long run, we're going to be okay because we can offset it with Game Pass. For PlayStation, we don't know this because we're not in their boardroom. So I'm trying to be very careful how I say it, but if you're not able to meet demand, there's something happening there. And to me, that I think it's more of a supply chain issue, which is why I say I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. I don't know if they need to increase cost because we don't see their portfolio. We don't know what they're spending. It may be that they're overspending. And if that's the case, then they bet wrong. You know, that's on them. They need to then own up to that and figure out, well, what do we need to do to move units versus passing off the cost to consumers. And that's where I would say is where my standpoint is personally, because I haven't given my opinion. I think they need to do a better job of find a solution where, like Ray said, you don't have to cut jobs and you can actually get these units out to people efficiently where you don't have these cost overruns or you don't have issues with the supplier. If you can't do that, then you've got a problem. You've got a big problem that you've got to figure out, and you can't go months because if they start not moving units, you don't think their shareholders aren't going to be screaming and holding them accountable? You better believe they will. You better believe they will, especially if they're not getting their dividends. They're going to be mad. So Sony doesn't have forever on this. They're going to have to figure this out pretty quickly, especially, again, with the public perception part of it. That doesn't help either. So.
Good point.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, like, I don't think it's like the cost of the parts, because in the past like year, PC parts price has actually gone down. I've seen, because like my GPU when I first got it like 2 years ago, it was like selling on eBay for like $2,000 because of how sparse these were, and I recently saw my GPU for a less cost than what I paid for it at retail, and that is quite telling. Especially with like we're still like kind of in the end of COVID type deal, so manufacturing's speeding up. You're seeing stuff more readily available. I just don't see. I don't see it. You know, even Sony and Xbox have announced like their productions are supposed to be increasing. Even on the like last investor calls, that the production of these systems are supposed to increase late this year into next year, and I don't see where that would increase your costs.
Here's one thing though, while they were releasing those consoles and trying to meet consumer demand, they were desperate for parts. Now, you have companies that were ready to supply them, but there was competition because both Xbox and PlayStation were competing for parts made by the same manufacturers. Now, is it possible that while there was a very big rarity on parts and a huge demand, that they signed a contract that lasts for multiple years at a certain price point, and that now that those parts are readily available on the market at a very cheap price, they're locking in a contract, which is costing them a lot of money for parts that are worth way less than what they are on the market.
That was my point. Because
But then why didn't they up the cost prior then if they knew that these costs were going to be there?
well, and that's
Nobody
a valid.
knew when it was going to end.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point, but I think what Doctor said is true though too. The difference maker to what you're saying is that your GPU was cheaper, right? And I don't think that's inaccurate. I think you're right on that because that's kind of what's happened across the board. But these parts that are going into these consoles are custom, like that. There's custom pieces that have to be provided, which there is unique, like to do the die casting and everything else to get into the console, the fit, all of that. It's unique. And when you also had companies, and we know this happened too, and I'm not trying to justify it, I'm just saying this is a reality. This was a fact. You had companies bidding on some of these GPUs and some of these pieces to get their spot in line ahead of everybody else, right? AMD was doing the custom stuff for Microsoft. We know that was happening a lot. They were trying to bid in. So it's very possible that, to what Doctor's saying, and that's what I was trying to make the point of, is that they bet wrong, right? They made this bet early on of, this is what we think is going to be the strategy. This is how we can ramp up, and they're not meeting it. And because of that, they're suffering. And now it's like, well, what are we going to do? We got to do something here. And I don't think it's right to pass this cost off on consumers. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. Personally, I think it's wrong. But this is what they're trying to use to justify it.
I did want to point out, I don't think it's a contract that they're locked in at a price, because we saw last year Sony said that they're now making a profit on the PlayStation 5. So that means that costs have decreased for them. So I don't think it was a locked price. Otherwise, they would still be eating the cost that year. So
costs can go up though. I mean, that's not unheard of. Just because it's one cost in a fiscal year doesn't mean it can't go up in another. But you're making a valid point. I'm just trying to point out the devil's advocate side of it, that I still think the truth's somewhere in the middle. I don't think it's as clear cut as, I hate saying this because I'm not trying to side with Sony. I don't know what truly the motivation is. If it is a cash grab, it's wrong. If it's truly that they made the wrong bet and they do have true cost overruns, then they need to figure that out as a company rather than sticking it to their consumers. That would be my answer.
I don't think it's I don't think it's necessarily a cash grab. I think it's to meet profit margins. I think they don't want to lose out on their profit margins because of the inflation rates, and that's why they're adding it so that they could subset some of those costs. Either that or the PSVR 2 is, they're probably going to sell it at a loss, and they want to subsidize that with the cost of the PS5. That's the only thing I can think is.
I think that thing's going to be expensive. I think I can see that thing being very expensive when it comes out.
I think it's going to be $400 to $500.
Right.
I mean, just look at the Quest 2 and its price bump.
Then they need to come down on the PlayStation Plus. Then it's give and take. I mean, you got to work with people on the PlayStation Plus then, or beef it up.
I do think it needs some more titles.
Beef it up.
I haven't seen anything that I was super interested on the PlayStation Plus title other than Stray, which I beat recently.
I did download Tony Hawk though for the PS5.
Oh yeah, that was a good one for PS5.
I will give them that.
Yeah, I think that's just the tough, and I know we probably got to move on, but I think that's just the tough part of like
Amazon, EA.
I think that's the tough part of when you're still very much still a hardware focused company and you haven't made that move yet. This situation puts you in a really tough spot because it's not easy to fight out of. It's not easy to get out of this. And if it truly is a cost overrun, Jim Ryan, man, you got to figure this out. You're not going to be able to stand on this, stand in this place forever and think that customers are going to put up with that forever. It's not going to work. It's not.
I agree with Chase. I agree.
I specifically agree with that, especially if the Activision Blizzard deal goes through. They're going to have a tough time selling their consoles when Xbox is like, yeah, we get Call of Duty on Game Pass and we're cheaper console.
Competition, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to see how that plays out. Very interesting seeing what will happen if they will indeed sell less consoles. Only time will tell. So now, Ray, you were mentioning another story that was running hot today.
It's a big story.
And so there is a rumor going around that Amazon might be bidding on EA. After the rumor started rolling, CNBC came out and said that they had access to Bloomberg board information and that there was no such a bid. Chase and I were talking about that this morning, and Chase did bring up that there is no smoke without a fire. There has to be something going on. Maybe they're not buying EA, but if there's a rumor that popped around, there has to be a story. So what do you guys think? Did they just do that to run up the stock because it did increase the price of the EA stock by
sure did.
What 20%?
Yeah, they did.
20% and then like
that was the big thing on the first on the news this morning. Hell yeah, they rose the stock up. I think somebody spilt the beans, to be honest with you. I mean, come on. How does something like that get out? And then it's just, that's not a rumor, dude.
Something's going on. I know some sources were saying none of the employees knew anything about it. They wouldn't. Why would they know?
Hell no, they wouldn't know.
The maker?
Yeah, usually you don't know until the deal goes through and they make an official announcement. I mean, like when my company got bought out, they announced to everybody, and there was like a public release at the same time. So I think EA is trying to be bought by somebody, but who, I don't know. It could be Apple, it could be Amazon. I definitely think it's one of the bigger companies. I don't think it's Google because I think Google's out when it comes to like purchasing big publishers.
Somebody mentioned Disney.
They were any interested parties.
Hey, Disney has don't they have like a partnership with Hulu Plus with like live TV and stuff like that?
Disney is already having some deals with EA because of Star Wars games.
That too, yeah.
I used to manage a property right across the street from because their office is in Redwood City, California. I used to manage a property in Redwood City, and that building looks sad, bro. It looks gloomy. EA in Redwood City, California. Yeah. It looks. I mean, once upon a time ago, that was one of the worst places to work for. I think they had some survey or something. One of the worst places to work at, but they still have Madden. They got FIFA. They got. It's going to cost whoever's buying it. It's not coming cheap. I can tell you that.
And Ray, you've managed buildings across every big tech company.
Yeah. Yes.
Are you renting out like for the IRS,
dude,
spying on them?
Bro, no. I mean, I Facebook. I managed the property in front of Facebook. I managed the property down from that one, and that was only two big places: Facebook and EA, and yeah. But dude, it's Silicon Valley, man. Silicon.
Yeah, you're the Silicon Valley mogul.
But I had a lot of friends that worked at EA, and I knew some people that got fired from. I had a roommate got fired from EA and stuff. I got a friend that got fired from that worked at Lucas Arts. You know, they were testers, man. Testers, guys that test the games. Dude, they got fired. It was I think the first one to get fired. But I think Amazon, you know, just like a football team. Hey, you gonna trade that player? What would you give up for that player if we could get it? I'm pretty sure somebody had to say something, you know. But can you imagine Amazon with EA?
I can easily imagine it.
Madden on Luna? Madden on Amazon Luna?
Just look at their recent like Amazon Prime gaming deals. Like there's been a lot of partnerships with EA. Mass Effect Legendary Edition was on there. I can't remember. Need for Speed, I think, was another one that they gave away through it. So I definitely think there's partnerships there, and it seems like a likely buyer.
I mean, I was watching the 49ers on Prime gaming, or not TV, Prime TV. It was weird. Very weird, but yeah, it happened.
Could definitely see some EA games on Luna, and maybe Luna built into Origins, or the new EA Play app that they have. So, you were gonna say, Chase?
No, I actually was going to agree with what you just said there, but the with the Origins piece, I don't know. It's going to be really messed up if that announcement was just to drive up stock price, because that's also has some legality issues behind it. But I won't.
Sure does.
We won't have a conversation about that here. But anyways, I think the larger piece to it is, even if it's not true, I think the fact that there's acquisition talk happening around Amazon is that there's something happening, right? Maybe someone heard wrong of who they're trying to acquire. You know, that could happen. And it isn't EA, but it's another entity that's a larger entity, or even a smaller publisher or developer. You know, EA is again, this is kind of this interesting space that you've been talking about here, Doctor, with the metaverse and entertainment ecosystems, is that, you know, long term, these companies got to start making moves. When you've got Microsoft with all the IP, you've got Sony with all the IP, you've got Epic doing what they're doing.
Embracer buying Lord of the Ring.
Exactly. Embracer with that IP. You can't just sit idly by if you want to be in the consumer space. Now, if you just want to be an enterprise solution, then you don't need to be in this space. You don't have to worry about it. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what it is ultimately that's happening there. I think EA, like Maker said, I think they either fall to an Apple, you know, Amazon is possible. I think Disney is very much in that conversation because they're looking to start setting up that type of space with an entertainment ecosystem that's, again, all encompassing of TV, movies. We know that with Disney Plus, and video games is the next area that they're trying to kind of expand into. They've said it. So, you know, I'm not going to be surprised if EA gets acquired, and any of them are possible. You know, I just think, I don't know if it's true that Amazon was going to announce something like that and that someone got that early of information, because then you're also dealing with regulatory approvals and stuff. I don't know. It just seems a little bit unlikely to me. The where there's smoke, there's fire comment is that they may be actually trying to acquire somebody and someone just heard the wrong company. So I would still pay attention to it.
I was also kind of iffy because today is a Friday, and usually Fridays you put out bad news, not good news, because there's the weekend. A lot of people forget it over the weekend and then come in. Like good news is generally like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like early in the week.
Is Amazon buying EA a good news?
There's somebody you guys. There's somebody
for
you
some
guys.
It will be a good news. For some, it will be a bad news.
There's like, somebody else you guys forgot to mention, and it would kind of be weird. But Take-Two, could you 2K, NBA, and EA?
I don't know. Personally,
I don't know if they'll drop that cost on them. I mean, because EA is pretty big. Like you got to think it's not quite Activision, but it's not.
They got Grand Theft Auto money, man. They got Rockstar money.
How much
The
is their
thing-
net worth?
The thing about EA is that, okay, you got BioWare, which is a studio they acquired that has their own IPs. But other than that, it's a lot of licensing. Okay, there's Battlefield, but that hasn't been doing too well lately.
They just announced another one. They just showed a new Battlefield.
They're not fixing the current one.
I'm going to tell you right now, EA's net worth is more than Take-Two.
Yeah,
That's a
I
big
don't
EA.
I don't see Take-Two happening unless it's like multiple developers come together and publishers
Could be a
to
merger.
merge, right? That would be the only
Yeah.
scenario where I could see that happening.
So Take-Two's pipeline, the company's profits jumped to $6.92 in 2021 from $5.32 per share in 2020. However, the company's profits is expected to drop to $4.89 per share this year. So,
But yeah, EA and Take-Two merging would be very beneficial for them, seeing as to share resources and game engines and have different studios collaborate on IPs. Like you get some of the EA studios collaborating on GTA 6. That would make production go a lot faster. Would be chaotic, but it could be beneficial to like take some elements of the game, have it polished out by different studios, get different eyes on it. I would definitely see an advantage to those two companies making a merger. But yeah, neither of them has the cash to purchase the other one. We're talking about way too big a transaction, but a merger definitely could happen. And yeah, Amazon definitely because the clock is ticking. Like I don't remember who was saying that, Ray, but we're moving. There's a big movement in the industry right now. It's slowed down lately a little bit because of the economic panic, so they're trying to save money. But we're talking a lot about a metaverse. It's not a coincidence that we're seeing so many acquisition of IPs. It is 100% in provision for the metaverse. Microsoft said it when they started doing acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Their main objective is not just for the game; it's to build their metaverse. So there's a lot of movement going in that direction, and Amazon wants to get into the gaming, and they are a mega tech corporation that will have a role that will be involved into the metaverse for sure, because it is such a big industry that's coming. It's estimated that by 2030 it should be worth over $30 trillion, and probably going to be even more than that. It's a lot of money on the table. So Amazon has to make some moves right now if they want to catch up the train. That means having production companies to develop content that will tie in a lot of stuff. They already have a lot of shows on Amazon Prime Video. They're getting a lot of content developed, like The Boys and pulling blanks, but there's a lot of shows that they were developing on there that it could easily build some interactive environments that will be gamified in a metaverse environment, and they can make gains for those IPs, actual gains. So they need the talent. They made a lot of investment into making Amazon games in Montreal. There's some other studios they were looking at, but they need to make a big move. Building brick by brick usually is the right way, but it might not be the best way right now because talent is being acquired everywhere at a very fast pace. So that's why, to me, when I saw Amazon and now that they would apparently announce that they were buying EA, 100% made sense to me.
So did you hear, HBO Max removed 36 titles, including 20 original from streaming. What's that about?
Okay, we're going to move the conversation to Warner Brothers Discovery.
I don't know
Warner
if I'm ready
Discovery?
for this conversation.
So,
Hey,
We're making
buckle up.
mistakes.
Discovery took over Warner Brothers. It's not a merger; it's a takeover, and a pretty hostile one at that.
Maker loves talking about this stuff. Maker loves this metaverse stuff.
So there's a lot of stuff moving around. They actually took Lord of the Ring, not the Lord of the Ring IP for movies, for games. Lord of the Ring, a whole package, the books, tabletop, whatever's got a Lord of the Ring printed on it. If you have Lord of the Ring underwear that was licensed to Warner Brothers before, well, they are now licensed to Embracer. Embracer took over the whole shebang, the whole thing. It's now Lord of the Ring Embracer. That is a huge acquisition. I haven't seen the price. I haven't looked in all the articles because I haven't had the time. I don't even know if a price came out. I tried to look quickly. I didn't see one, and I didn't research afterward. But they sold everything Lord of the Ring related to Embracer, which up to now has been a gaming company. So now they're no longer just a gaming company. They're also a movie company. They're also a book publisher, and they're also an underwear making company, and whatever you want now. All Lord of the Ring related is now in Embracer's hands. One ring to rule them all. I don't know.
I wanted to say real quick, Embracer wasn't just gaming. They acquired Dark Horse Comics like a couple years back.
That's right.
Did y'all miss me? Come on now.
Is that here on your chest, man?
Gaming?
Yeah. Let me pull it up. Is that not politically correct?
It's not even a wife beater. It's what do you call that?
Is that?
Dude, I'm out of 10. Oh my god, Ray.
Yeah, you gotta hold the bottom of your shirt. Put it in there. It's
called drunk dad outfit.
If I do that, your channel's getting deleted.
Woman, where's my beer? Bring my beer here, woman.
I don't know. All I heard was I joined right before I heard something about somebody talking about underwear. I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we were talking about you.
Well, I showed up at the right time, man.
So, well, before we can continue with that, what's up, Vet? What have you been gaming? How you been doing? What's up with you, man?
Not much. God, I forgot what Cloud Nation was about until, like 3 weeks worth of an ungodly amount of news dropped. My 5-year-old just walked up and slapped me.
I heard a slap, dude.
Good job, Mini Vet. Doing that right.
He's trying to be like Will. No, I've just Arcade Mania, or that Arcade Paradise game has gotten me. I've been hooked on that for the last couple of days, except for Fortnite last night and then Fortnite tonight or this morning. I don't know. I lost track of stuff.
It
could be worse. Then it could be worse. But no, if you haven't played Arcade Paradise, that game is out. That is such a great game, and it's available on TFN. Just throwing that one out there.
Those look pretty good, pretty fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's got the nostalgia feel, with just some of the phrases and things that and different stuff that it does. The developers of that game did a fantastic job. So, and then I've just been watching. I've been waiting to see when EA is going to get bought out by Amazon. So I'm sure that's going to happen. I was watching the Boostroid dropping bombshells for games today. Just God, I can't keep track of all the news and games. And Saints Row, which I still haven't played yet, but I've avoided. I read most of the reviews, and I don't really care. I'll still play it.
Good. So now.
You get Saints Row, you get what you expect. Like, we all know what Saints Row is about. It's over the top arcade, shoot, steal. It's just the arcade version of GTA. So I'm not concerned about. It's
a double A GTA.
Yeah,
it's pretty much what it is.
Exactly.
No, thank you.
So anyway, we're gonna go back to where the conversation was, talking about what is going on with Warner Discovery. So yeah, they sold Lord of the Ring to Embracer, which is a big deal. Now, I wonder which it is. Where did the, because there was already like there was a TV show coming out on Amazon right now, Lord of the Ring. What is it called again? It's not a One Ring, but basically it's the origin of how they forged the rings and everything. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm really curious to see it. So there was some stuff happening, but was Warner Discovery not confident enough in doing more stuff with it and being profitable with it? Or were they in need of cash? What do you guys think drove Warner Discovery to sell the rights to Lord of the Ring?
I don't know if it was a need of cash. I really don't know. That just seems like an odd thing to do. That one had me stumped on it. Can you?
Oh no!
No. We'll
Meg
do that on my channel. Oh God! We'll do the first. We'll do a first look at my shirts another time on my channel.
Oh God!
This is CloudNation Gaming News. I don't even.
I'm watching the clip.
I hope to God it's not what I think.
It's me pulling my shirt and making the.
That started it, Meg.
Maybe we should have moved this to Twitch.
It's in response to Vet's clothing choice.
Well, it's what I had on when I got to the hotel, so.
So I wanted to approach this topic for the reason why I think they sold was because I don't think that they saw the return that they thought they would with the franchise. If you look, the Hobbit series, the Hobbit movies didn't do as well as the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. I think the first Shadow of Mordor was successful, but the second one, I don't think they hit the numbers that they wanted, which, if they did, we would definitely be seeing a third one, but it's still not there. Good point. And I think they just wanted to sell the franchise because they didn't think it was worth it, I guess.
Nah. So I'll tell you what's going on. So they have cut. So it's not even this. They've cut a lot. They don't want to pay. What was it I was reading yesterday? Something about the like the animators and stuff, or the creators of some of the shows. They were cutting some of the costs back on that. They've pushed back several DC movies. They've cut DC movies back that they aren't going to make. They've cut back shows that aren't related to Lord of the Rings. It's a short-term cash flow push is what they're doing. They're trying to get a short-term return, but it's what Doctor said in the beginning. Actually, I don't know that, Doctor, you said that about this one. Maybe you did, because we were talking about Amazon specifically before, but it applies to this too. They are not positioned right now, the way that they're moving, to be successful in the future. In this future,
I think that was a personal conversation with the DMs that we talked about this, but yeah.
Well, no, because you said it in the last part about how with Amazon.
Oh, Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, if they don't start doing stuff going forward, they're going to run into challenges. But the same applies to this. Because if they don't start getting IP and they don't start having things that are applicable to their consumers, where people are willing to watch and consume, they're not going to be successful in this entertainment ecosystem future. It's just not going to happen. So the one thing that I think that everyone needs to watch on this one very closely, very, very closely, is how quickly the shareholders turn on the CEO and the board. Because I think it's going to happen. I really do. Because when more and more of these shows get pushed back and there isn't content that's drawing folks in, that's making them excited to sign up for HBO Max or Discovery Plus, or whenever it's merged, whatever that final ecosystem is called, then when the shareholders aren't getting their money, they're going to be pissed off. I don't think this is going to be successful. I don't. I can't with this chat. I know,
I'm trying to hold it together.
what was I saying? I just don't think this is going to be successful for them. I think they're going in the wrong direction when everybody else is going in the direction of we got to get IP, because if we don't have IP, we will not be sustainable in the future. There's just no way. You know what it feels like? It almost feels like someone that is just completely out of touch with what reality is in the now. Like they have a CEO that does not realize what is happening in the next 10 to 20 years. And they're like, oh, it's just status quo. No big deal. We'll just get a couple of these things. We'll sell some of this off, make a short-term profit, and things will be fine. You might want to rethink that strategy, because that isn't going to be successful. So to me, this is a mess. This is a mess. I really think by the time we get to next year, there might potentially be either a new CEO or a different board of directors for this company. I don't see how this is sustainable. I really don't.
Well, I did want to say it seems like they're definitely pushing more Discovery than they are HBO, and Discovery is more focused on reality TV. And I think that's the problem is they see the profit margins with reality TV going, we don't spend near as much on these and we make more profit off of them. Let's go invest more in these than the other content. But the problem you have there is then you don't have a varied content to create an even larger base. And so that's my problem is like
my son was upset.
I know the DC franchise, they have poorly mismanaged, like Warner Brothers has the DC franchise, because like the movies could be so much better. Like I think the only ones they do well with is Batman and like Joker, and that's it. Like all the other DC franchises, they screw up or they mess up and they don't invest enough into them.
So this is a news that just came out today that they're tapping that guy to become their Kevin Feige equivalent of Marvel to the DC universe on television, because they need someone to take over the franchise. It's been their problem. There was Robert Rodriguez before handling it. And if you haven't followed what was going on, there's actually people who quit on Warner Brothers while they were producing the Justice League movie, and one of them was very vocal about it. He said Warner Brothers is destroying the DC universe, and they're destroying Warner Brothers by not listening to the feedback of the employees. There was problems on the set. Employees were going up above, like to try to get a response, like to get someone to act, and the board members and everywhere were playing a deaf ear to that. There was a lot of problem. They've been trying to resolve that, but it hasn't been as successful as it should. So now they're tapping someone to take over the DC side of the thing, which means they don't intend to sell it. In general, in my personal experience, like my own perception of the whole thing, Warner Brothers doesn't seem to do very well in a lot of franchise, because it's, I'm trying to word it properly there. I've rarely see a franchise really get full support from Warner Brothers, like you'll see with Disney, where they're doing the Star Wars things. The moment they acquired Star Wars, yeah, they had problems with the movies at the beginning. But if you look at what's going on right now on Disney Plus, the TV shows that are coming out, the amount of support they're getting on, the video games now, they're finally getting some good Star Wars games out there. So they went to the bottom of things and tried to get the right people to work on this, to get all the support that it needs. And we're seeing positive changes. Warner Brothers always seem to like, okay, they do a few movies, they close that franchise, they don't dig deeper, and they'll tap in developers. But okay, you have your budget, you do your own things, and like encapsulating everything, but not like it. It seems like the dynamic is so much different than Warner Brothers, and it's not necessarily bringing positive results. So they need to spin things around. So maybe bringing that guy in, who actually worked on it, Aladdin, Sherlock Holmes, Lego Movie. So he's got
the background, that's for sure. Yeah,
he's got a solid rep. We're gonna see how it goes, because it used to be Robert Rodriguez that had that job kind of before with DC, but we know Robert Rodriguez is not necessarily the most approachable content. Like he's done some stuff all over the place that's been popular, but he has his own flavor of movies and might not be popular with everyone. Now they're tapping someone who's made some pretty popular franchise, which goes well with pretty much every public. So it might be a positive change. I'm really curious to see how it'll pan out, but hopefully it does work. But in my experience, Warner Brothers have never been the best at handling that kind of franchise. Like they've been doing okay with Harry Potter, but people have been asking more of that, and we're now getting a game that people are excited about.
Yeah,
But it's
well,
been
that
on a
one
drop
looks
for a
great.
while.
Well, didn't they
So-
move? They moved the CW. Like they got rid of that channel, which is where they have a lot of their DC shows on. Which it's just their whole like these two companies' direction is just a mess. Like I don't even know how else to describe it. It's an absolute
I think
mess.
it's just in general, because I shared a thing. There was a thing I shared to Doc earlier today that Netflix axed the Resident Evil TV series that they had started after the first season. That just got they dropped the axe on that one.
Well,
So it's like everything is just when you're trying to take video games or anything and turn it, or even movies, and just turn them into TV series. I think that's where you struggle, because you have to get it done just right.
That's Netflix though.
Well, yeah,
They lost a lot of money the last couple of quarters.
yeah. Well,
They just need to nail the series.
Reacted well, but the problem with Netflix is I don't think they thought that like Disney or any of these other ones, upcoming streaming services were going to really put a dent in their, in their stranglehold on the streaming services, and it kind of backfired on them.
Well, the problem I have with Netflix is there's fewer and fewer high quality, like really good shows on the subscription. Like they used to have House of Cards and like Orange is the New Black and a lot of these like really big franchises, and then those ended, and then now it's like we've got Stranger
horrible.
Things.
Maker, you are 100% absolutely right. I mean, I like the cooking shows, and that's about it.
So do I.
I like the cooking shows, and that's it. That Resident Evil had nothing to do with the damn game. It would, if they made it like
I'm just saying in general.
If they made it like a different story for something else, maybe, but it had nothing to do with Resident Evil, and it was kind of good. It was kind of
Netflix goofy. Keeps trying to make live actions. Well, if that's where they're moving, they should contact Disney, because that seems that all Disney can do nowadays.
I agree,
create
Dinah.
Live actions.
I agree, Dinah.
This is the issue that every one of these companies is going to face going forward, is when you don't deliver new and fresh content that's day and date, that's something that appeals to consumers, they're going to struggle. And this is why this content acquisition competition is happening, because you have to have IP. If you don't have original IP that you can push, this is why Netflix is struggling. They have homegrown IP that they've wasted in some instances. But you're seeing other companies say, we're not gonna spend a bunch of money like they did. We'll just buy and I know that doesn't sound right, but in the long run, we'll buy the IP that we don't have to create ourselves, and then deliver it to consumers and make our money back.
Now, Warner Brothers, do you guys think that they will liquidate any other franchise? And on this, I want to say, like, lately, I've been a big, major fan of Multiverses, which is a game based mainly on the Warner Brothers franchise that they have to their catalog. Like, in my main character, I play all the time is Batman on it. They just added Morty from Rick and Morty in it. There's a bunch of other characters from other franchise. But there's when the game came out, people were like digging into files. They found a bunch of stuff from Lord of the Ring, and the moment that the announcement came out that Embracer were acquiring Lord of the Ring from Warner Brothers, from Warner Discovery, the next update after, everything from Lord of the Ring was pulled out of the file, except for one attack that Gandalf had that was moved over to Morty and transitioned into another attack that he's doing because they could reuse the same assets. It's the only thing that remained, and zero intention of bringing that to Lord of the Rings because it got sold to Embracer. And when they were revealing stuff about a game, someone asked if we'd see Harry Potter in it, and he said that is one of the franchise that they didn't get authorization to put anything into the game early on. Was one of the first thing they were told that they were not allowed to touch. Could they be selling the rights to Harry Potter?
I don't know, man. I went to Warner Brothers studio, and that was a huge.
But I don't want to say no. I don't want to say no because I could see it could happen. I mean, I could see it happen. I mean, we're seeing everything is kind of going in a different direction than it has in the past. I mean, with assets getting sold, IPs getting sold. I mean, the big movie companies, they don't do anything besides just rehash everything that's from the 80s or the 90s, and they just remake it. Or Disney, what Disney does best apparently nowadays is take every animated film they've ever made and turn it into live action and say, hey, look, we made a new movie. I swear nobody knows how to do anything in Hollywood anymore when it comes to shows, whether it's television or movies. It's just let's rehash the old times and bring it back.
I think there are some good ones. Like I'll say first and foremost, Netflix's Arcane series about League of Legends was actually really, really good and really well done. Though I'm not sure how much of that was Riot Games and how much of it was Netflix. So there's that. But I think we do need that new IP. As far as like Harry Potter into multiverses talk, I don't think it's gonna be Harry Potter. I think it's gonna be either like Snape, Voldemort, maybe Dumbledore. I don't think it's gonna be Harry Potter though.
No.
I think they'll just do something else.
What do you mean that will be Snape or Voldemort?
In multiverses, as far as a character goes, I don't think it'll be Harry Potter.
What I meant is the Wizarding world, the whole Harry Potter universe is not accessible for multiverses. They're not allowed to use the Wizarding world.
I think it'll eventually, because look at its success. Like I think
the more successful it gets, then you'll see it'll change. It could change. I don't know if it will, but the more successful thing, that's what gets things to change.
Because what I saw is basically the lead producer at the beginning specifically state that it was one franchise they were not allowed to touch at all. Maybe it'll change, but I wouldn't, because here's the thing: Discovery acquired Warner Brothers because they were in financial difficulty pretty bad. They lost a lot of money, especially on those DC movies that have been costing a lot of money and really not paying it out as much as they were expecting. So their financial sheet was a disaster. That's why they were able to jump on him and acquire him. Now, in order to make it back with a balance the bills out, they just sold Lord of the Ring. They had elements of Lord of the Ring in the game. They pulled them out. So that tells me that it was a very fast transaction. They were probably not even planning on selling, but that Embracer came to them and said, look, we heard you're selling some stuff. We want Lord of the Ring. We want all of it. How much do you guys want? And they did a transaction. Embracer is very good at making fast transaction. They just closed something not too long ago for was it like Eidos Montreal and all of that. So they are very fast on the ball and doing an acquisition. So they had planned on keeping Lord of the Ring and moved on to selling it for a quick buck because they needed the money. I do believe that Harry Potter might have been in a conversation, and who would jump on this? 100% Disney, in my opinion. That would fit well with their brand, getting a younger audience and, well, getting a franchise that speaks as much to the younger audience than
They
to
would
the
just throw that
adults.
in the. They would throw that. You know how quickly they would add that. You'd see that at every Disney park.
Yeah.
They would They would utilize that franchise and make so much money off of it. It's ridiculous.
Disney would be a right place for Harry Potter, as in they would make huge investment in that. They would push it everywhere. So, of course, Disney would 100% jump on this. And the fact that they were not allowed to use it in multiverses tells me there was some conversation going on around possibly the franchise having some movement, and they were looking for funds. Embracer went to acquire Lord of the Ring. It was a very fast transaction. What triggered that transaction to happen? I think they were looking for buyers for something else. So don't be surprised. My opinion is don't be surprised if we get an announcement soon that something like Harry Potter gets sold. Lord of the Ring, in my opinion, won't be the last franchise to be sold.
They are selling stuff left and right. Like it's all about short-term cash flow. Like they just
It
want
looks
money.
like they're just having a nice liquidation sale right now.
Well, it's also to drive up stock prices. Again, like some of these companies, it comes down to their shareholders. And this might be nice in the moment, but I'm just telling you, when people are not, I forget who said it, where they said, I think Nathan said it, where they're literally the only thing they have is reality shows and they don't have content that is like varied. They're going to run into issues. It's going to happen. So
If
I
you
don't
look at
understand the strategy. I don't.
If you look at the current board members at Warner Discovery, I'm pretty sure the entire board is from Discovery and comes from the reality show side of the machine, because they have been the ones that have been having the best performance in terms of cost to profit basis. So I was reading on this, and it's like the entire board is all coming from the reality show background. So that's what they know works. And I did see it. I couldn't find a statement. I was looking for it, but I know someone. I read a comment of someone saying that they found a statement from Warner Brothers that their focus would be unscripted material, so reality shows, and that everything else was being pushed aside. I think it's something that was said when they canceled the Batgirl movie, and they're canceling a whole array of things. Like the Batgirl movie was totally produced. It was almost ready to come out. It was in post-production, and they canned it. Maybe it wasn't good, but they still canned a multi-million-dollar movie that was about to come out. So what's up with that? So there's a lot going on.
Just want to throw some money away, apparently.
Yeah, has axed 825 million.
I mean, the only other thing I could think of in this, and it just like I don't know why I hadn't thought about this before. Like I feel like an idiot for a moment here. The other thing is they're just selling stuff off because they want to sell now, and maybe they want to merge with somebody. You know, again, to me, this strategy makes no sense. It's not a forward-thinking strategy. So there's got to be another reason. And here's the deal: if it's not that they're trying to merge with somebody, and this is truly what their thought process is, they've got a CEO that is completely out of touch with reality, and that's not, no pun intended. I know we were talking about like reality shows, but completely out of touch with reality of where the market is moving. Like I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I really don't.
We're in a buyer's market, and they have something to sell.
I mean, that's fine in the now, but
I could see them get bought out by someone, but who? You know, it could be Amazon, could be Apple. You know, I definitely think that there's potential there, especially with the rising competition with these show subscriptions and movie subscriptions.
Personally, if Embracer does well by Lord of the Ring, I'm pretty happy about it. If Disney went to acquire Harry Potter, I'd be pretty happy about it, because I haven't been satisfied by how Harry Potter has been handled these last few years. People have been asking for content, and not much has been happening. Like the latest few movies, Animal Fantastic or whatever. Like there's those movies that have been coming out and they're okay, but I'm not a huge fan of those movies. Like there's something that doesn't strike me like the original franchise. People have wanted like a TV show following like one of those like the Dark Wizard Hunters or something like that. We're not seeing anything about that. People have been asking for stuff. Disney acquires that. I can guarantee at least 2 shows will be in production very shortly.
Hands
and
down.
it will be quality production. So if they liquidate that kind of material and it goes into companies who better handle those franchise, I'm 100% happy. I was talking with Chase the other day, and I was saying I get the feeling that they might sell DC to Sony, because Sony right now has Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse, but it is creating friction. Yes, they love their Spider-Man. It's raking them a lot of money, but there's friction with Disney because they have Spider-Man. They have the rights to it. I'm not saying they will do it.
I'm not talking bad about the House of Mouse. Not on YouTube. I don't trust. I don't. They're always that mouse is always listening.
Yeah. All I'm saying is Sony has been having some friction with Disney as to how they can utilize a franchise. They could easily say, okay, for the movies, you're getting Spider-Man back, but we keep the game rights, and then turn around and acquire DC as a whole package for Sony Pictures, PlayStation, whole package. And that would be a pretty good move. They already have DC Universe Online that is a Sony game, 100% produced by Sony. And they had very good partnership with the Arkham Asylum games. So they have a very close relationship with DC for games, all kind of content. They could create the new DC universe at Sony. That could be a thing.
I think it's probably going to be someone bigger because of the.
Where you got a party going on?
I think
damn neighbors, man. What the hell?
I think Sony's already preoccupied with Bungie, and then it's looking like Square is looking to be acquired. I don't think like they're gonna take on DC as well in a relatively soon time frame. Maybe in like years down the line, but not right now.
Bungie's already a solved case, though. They finalized the transaction. They don't have to worry about it anymore.
I'm saying like cost wise, because they're with buying Bungie and then looking to buy a Square.
I'm missing some stuff in the private chat. What's going on, guys? What?
Ray's at a rave. He didn't tell us he was hosting one.
What?
All of a sudden, you were talking. Somebody, I don't know who was talking, but it went silent, and you heard like rave music in the background. And Ray just takes this off and says, "What the hell?" Blaming it on his neighbors. I think he's just having a rave party in his house, and he didn't tell anybody.
Totally missed that.
You got to control your kids, Ray. Come on now, you got to control that boy. It's a Fortnite rave party. We lost Chase and Ray because of that.
Wow. What is going on?
What other stuff did I miss? Did you guys talk about while I wasn't here? Did we get into any like actual gaming news, or has it been mostly the TV stuff?
Mostly just big picture type stuff.
Okay, so I didn't.
Yeah, we talked about a PlayStation 5 price increase, and I think that's pretty much it.
Dude, that's been all over. I've seen the Xbox fanboys and the PlayStation fanboys just going to town with that news.
You can blame me on that one. I apologize.
I blame Ray. I mean, it was probably his son throwing a Fortnite rave party in the background.
No. I just looked up on my neighbors are having a fiesta, and there's like cars all up and down the street. They got the grill and everything, and they're blasting. I mean, I'm all, hey, come midnight though.
Ray said, "You gonna put up the food trucks real quick? It's over now."
No, the PlayStation's my fault. I apologize, y'all.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Well, that's what Cloud Nation's all about.
What else do we want to talk
anyways.
about?
How about Boosteroid? I mean, because there
game,
was
no, screw Booster.
No one cares about Booster.
I can't believe we're a game show. We're not talking about the games coming out.
Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah,
Hold on,
we've
I'll be
been
right
busy
back.
with
I'll play Spider-Man
franchises
in the,
moving around.
Let me go play Spider-Man in the cloud. I'll be right back. And I'm not talking Miles Morales because I don't have PlayStation Plus anymore. I scrapped that. Ray, you play your Peppa.
My what?
Go play Peppa Pig on Stadia. That
You look
AAA
like
title.
Peppa Pig right now, dude. Go put something on them arms. You look like Peppa Pig, fool.
Speaking of cloud gaming, GeForce now crossed a milestone. They reached 20 million
20
subscribers. They went from over 1 million 2 years ago to 20 million.
That ain't real stats. What you talking about?
Yeah, but how many are paid?
That ain't real.
Yeah, come on now. We got to know all the paid members. How many use it on a daily basis?
I think that's hold on. I do think that's a valid point. I think that applies to everybody. I think that Stadia, Luna, GFN, whoever has a cloud-based service, like, and even to be fair, Sony and Microsoft, they used to do it back in the 360 era and the PlayStation 3. We got real-time stats on who was actively in the ecosystems. Like these companies need to get back to that. And then we wouldn't have to even have these types of conversations about what is or what isn't. They really do need to give active player-based numbers, all of them.
I still think I think it was over 2 years. It was close to 20 million because there were over 1 million when it was 2 years ago, right?
No matter
And then
what
now
the
it's
number
at
is,
20.
they did a hell of a job. You know,
I mean,
you gotta
regardless, that's an
give it
impressive
up.
number.
Got to give it up.
I think it was.
What.
I think it was an increase of 8 million in the past year. That's still significant, like accounts and these developers.
Exposure.
Yeah, exactly. The more people you have on a platform, the better. Like the more accounts visible to these people's games means.
Does anybody see Microsoft releasing an updated number now that Nvidia did?
I think sometime soon.
Spencer says something crazy, man. He said the console exclusives are dead. Did he really say that?
Yeah.
Did he really say that?
I just wanted to point something out.
He had an epiphany.
Xbox did announce numbers strictly with the Fortnite numbers on xCloud that 4 million people played it and 1 million were brand new accounts. So over like 1 million people signed up for new accounts to play it.
That does not shock me at all, though. If you want to get subscribers, I mean, that's literally the one. There are certain games that everybody asks for on every platform. It's always GTA, Call of Duty, Fortnite, the big three games. And you put Fortnite on and look what happens. They pull in a ton of subscribers playing it and new subscribers to boot.
It's a good thing. It's exposure. Speaking of Fortnite, there is an event right now going on with Destiny 2.
Oh my god, that I raged on that. I hate that mode.
Is there Fortnite content in Destiny? Because there's Destiny 2 content in Fortnite.
I don't play Destiny 2 anymore.
I played Destiny 2 last night. It was pretty fun.
No, I haven't seen any Fortnite content on it. It did pop up saying that Fortnite now has the skins for it, but that's about it.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Skins and a mode there's a mode that's similar to Destiny where you're the capture the flag type mode or something that's from Destiny. So they've got just more than just the skins. They've got modes and everything in the game now as well that are similar to it. So they really did a good job with it. Not only that, they added the NFL has now got you've got uniforms specifically for your team. So if you're
dude, I saw Patrick Mahomes, man.
Yeah, they added Mahomes. Yep, they added Patrick Mahomes, but they have the referees, and you can throw the flag. But what I thought was outstanding was the players. They have different players for linemen, punters, all of the positions that you play. But then not only that, you can pick what your favorite team is. So like Ray, if he ever played it again, it would be obviously 49ers. I would, of course, go with Washington, and nobody would choose Dallas because, It's Cowboys. But
But also, Fortnite got a Dragon Ball Z event going on. Well, it's actually Dragon Ball Super,
I don't know
which
about Dragon Ball
was
Z.
the #1 movie in the box office last weekend, by the way. So they just released a new Dragon Ball movie and was #1 at the box office in the United States.
Fortnite has been Epic, and Fortnite have been killing it lately with the skins and all of this stuff that they're doing. It is crazy to me how much that they're just keep adding things, and my bank account cries constantly.
I had to get the Vegeta skin. I'm just disappointed that there isn't the over 9,000 emote. But yeah.
Dude, I got my ass kicked in Rumbleverse, man. I got my ass.
I still haven't
How's
played
that
it.
game?
I have not
I
played that.
played Rumbleverse on GFN, and I got my ass kicked. And I was a female too.
Oh, Ray, you're scaring Dino. He doesn't want you to Kamehameha him.
Oh no! I know who that is.
So yeah, you having fun in the Rumbleverse? I haven't tried it at all.
I haven't played it either.
Oh my god!
What's going on?
That name that was just brought up in the chat.
Kamehameha?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's from Dragon Ball. Oh, Kamehameha.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know who that sounds like? Who has a name similar to that? Which has also been trending on Twitter. Oh, now he gets out.
Oh,
Now he gets out. Vet,
I know what you're talking about.
I'm sitting here minding my own business on my computer, and Vet sends me a video, and it's a chick on Twitch, and she's streaming. She's streaming, and she's got people in the chat, and she's playing a game, and her boyfriend walks up behind her and does the nasty live. She got banned for 7 days. What is wrong with you kids? What's wrong with you kids out there, man? Good Lord. But there's a guy right now, I think he got banned for life for something he said in somebody's stream. But this girl, I mean, she's getting her butt clapped live stream. She gets banned for 7 days. I don't understand that.
It's all about money.
But anyway.
They have to do something, but there's
Maker,
money
you gotta
involved.
cut that out, dude. You gotta cut that out, Maker.
What's up, Maker? Your microphone is muted.
Oh, it sounds like that's happening next door to Ray. I can hear him going at it.
Yeah,
Bro.
I can hear the bass.
Dude,
It's not a problem. It's not a problem.
It's California,
Anyway.
y'all. California.
Oh goodness.
So yeah,
But,
Vet is currently rebooting his computer. He'll be back in a moment.
So you guys are talking about Gamescom, right? High on Life.
Yes, I need to watch some videos on it, but I'm really psyched for that game. I like Justin Roiland stuff. I like Rick and Morty. That game looks pretty good.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I'll tell you right now.
I forgot about that. Yes.
Speaking about High on Life, I watched that Gamescom gameplay trailer that they posted, and it sorely disappointed me. But then I saw an interview at the Xbox's showcase with High on Life, and they showed gameplay, and it involved swapping weapons and doing all these cool things, and I was like, this looks way more fun than what they showed in that gameplay trailer.
Maker, I'm right there with you. I said the same thing. I was looking at it, I was like, ugh! And then I saw another clip, and I was like, okay, I'm sold on this game. They also have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Dead Island 2 looks freaking amazing, and it's coming out for Stadia, folks. And Dune. Oh my God, Dune, the giant worm popping out of the ground. Looked amazing.
So you mentioned Dune because I haven't had time to catch on all of those news, but you
Mhm.
mentioned Dune is like a MMO survival. Is it like Conan Exile or?
It's from the same developers that made Conan
Yeah.
Exiles.
They even
Okay.
have those like mosquito looking ships that fly around that look great. Whoa, damn, back up.
Shut up. Oh shit, it's messing up again. I may have to dip out. This does not work.
There's some solid Gamescom trailers that were shown, and some pretty interesting, a lot of new IPs that were shown, which is nice.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to catch up on those news soon, maybe next year.
I'm
Keep
still
him busy.
what's that game? Protocol? What the hell?
The Callisto
Callisto
Protocol.
Protocol.
That is my most anticipated game. Like that game is what I can't wait.
It looks really good. I think if you're looking for like a serious tone game that has like some newer mechanics to it, that game is phenomenal. And then to Maker and Ray's point about High on Life, if you're looking for something that's not as serious, but again has some pretty cool mechanics, and you get kind of like that Borderlands dialogue, but from the weapons. I think that's neat. Like it's something different. It's
got another Borderlands too.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
They did show that.
Yeah,
I saw that a little bit earlier. Yeah, there was some cool things. Yeah,
Nice.
I think it's the Borderlands, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, New Tales of the Borderlands.
Yes, New Tales of the Borderlands. Yes, sorry.
There you go. Yeah,
Thank you,
that's
Maker.
it.
Yeah, there was some cool things. I don't think there was anything that was like jaw dropping, like, oh my goodness, something that's like revolutionary that we haven't seen before. But there was a couple little things that
AEW fight forever.
Well, wait a minute, wasn't that what was the game that it was like the equivalent? No Mercy, right?
Yeah. Oh my god, that brought
Kinda
back
cool.
some No Mercy vibes, man.
Arcade style.
Yeah.
So, a few highlights for me. I saw the Atomic Heart gameplay trailer came out. Well, another one did, and that looked really cool, very Bioshocky. The Gotham Knights trailer with the villains made me a lot more interested in it because, you know, showcasing some of the enemies that you'll be fighting. It looks kind of cool. I'm a little bit more excited about it than I was.
Mm-hmm.
And like Atlas Fallen, the screenshot I have behind me.
Yes.
It's like Forspoken. It looks like it might be co-op, and you wield like sand weapons, and it looks cool.
You get excited for Sonic Frontiers?
Not really. I've heard some good stuff about it from people playing it on the gameplay floor though.
Yeah, don't talk about CM Punk.
Lords of the Fallen spiritual successors was
also
announced.
I saw that. That looked awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
So those are some of the highlights that I found.
You know what else that I saw? I saw a guy that needs to get fired. He's on an Xbox booth using a Sony DualSense controller playing the game in the Xbox booth.
Okay.
And everybody in the chat was like just laughing out loud. LOL, LOL. Oh my god, this guy is so fired. But he was actually showing off one of his games, but he was using the Sony controller in the Xbox.
It could be that he was playing the PC version because the Xbox as an environment now has the Xbox console, but also PC. And personally, especially on PC, I like to use my DualSense. Like I'm playing Multiverses, I'll 100% use the DualSense and not the Xbox controller because I feel it's better designed for a fighter, while the Xbox controller is excellent for shooters. So it might just be that he's more comfortable with that controller. I do get that it's an Xbox stand, but if he's playing the PC version, especially like in terms of latency, the DualSense is much better than the Xbox controller. So it might just be personal preference. But yeah, I do get if he's at the Xbox stance, he should be using an Xbox controller.
Did Ray say earlier that I meant to come back to this and I totally forgot about it, and then now it just popped back into my head. Were you saying something about that Phil Spencer said that console exclusives
Yes.
are like? Yeah, I don't think he's entirely wrong on that, but that's more of a forward-thinking statement, not in the now. I think he needs to be careful about how he phrases things, because he says some stuff sometimes where I'm like, man, you really need to put some context around your statements, because they're not super clear all the time.
That was trending. I seen people making videos, people talking, and I was like,
he's not wrong in the future. Like, that is where we're moving, and that is what's going to happen. Like, it will be more ecosystem driven, not console driven. But in the now, we're not quite there yet. So sometimes when you make those kind of statements, people freak out because they're not used to the where we will be. So you kind of have to like almost kind of like,
you're absolutely right.
You kind of have to be a little bit more careful about it. So,
but look at Sony, even they're releasing PC gaming peripherals.
No, that's true. I don't disagree, but you know what I mean. Like, you still have a large amount of the general consumers, like an everyday consumer. When you say something like that, they're like, well, what do you mean? I'm a little bit confused. Or maybe they're used to buying consoles. Because again, consoles are a much, I don't want to say much larger percentage, but they are, when it comes to the general marketplace or the general consumer marketplace. But
well, I think it's pretty apparent that Xbox has been going this way since like the Xbox generation. They had the Play Everywhere deal where you bought the game once and you could play it on PC as well. And that's kind of the route that they're going, is they want you to be able to play your game on PC, on Xbox, and on cloud. And that, I think that's where he's coming from. It doesn't need to be a console exclusive. It just needs to be an ecosystem exclusive. And I think that's what the way they're going. And I think there's a lot of people that are actually shifting towards saying that that's okay and that's the right way to go. Like, I've started to see more and more people say, hey, xCloud's actually not that bad. It works well for a fair amount of people. And like, even with the Samsung Gaming Hub, they showcased that at Gamescom too. So,
because absolutely in the future, I see consoles phasing out, because what a console is an easy to approach, affordable gaming rig that has an optimized performance. Now, right now, cloud gaming still has a low adoption because not everywhere people will have a solid enough internet infrastructure to play in the cloud. Like, I got fiber and it's like going really well. Not everyone has that reality. Even Meg in the chat, she's like within the same province that I am, but she doesn't have the same internet connection. And once in a while, it happens that she has problems with it. People all over, well, some will have good connections, some bad connection. But this is something that we know in North America, both the Canadian and the United States government are making investments to be sure that everyone is able to get high-speed internet. I think it's at least 100 or 150 megabyte per second that I want to make sure that everyone is able to get at an affordable price. So once you get 100 megabyte per second at a relatively low latency out of your home, you're fine for cloud gaming. Now, in the future, right now, we're still in the mentality that console is the way to go to have affordable, good quality gaming. But if you're talking about 10 years, and 10 years is not that long of a stretch. In 10 years, people want to get a good gaming experience at an affordable price. You compare having a console at your home or having cloud gaming, it'll be pretty similar as for experience goes. And Samsung's releasing a TV with a cloud gaming hub in it. We're seeing that more and more. So I 100% believe that in a not too distant future, consoles will disappear and gaming, and I've said that many times, gamings will be PC gaming if you want the optimal performance, local gaming. Like, you want to buy your RTX 6080 Ti, whatever, 100% go invest and get your gaming experience. That will be expensive, but you'll get what you pay for. And if you want that kind of performance, you're gonna accept to pay that kind of price. or if you want the console experience that we're having right now, cloud gaming is going to deliver that to pretty much everyone in most areas, because high-speed internet will be implemented. I think they still have like 1 or 2 years to connect pretty much everyone on a relatively good high-speed internet. There were some dates a while ago that were thrown around, and we're coming pretty close to the end of those dates. It's probably going to be delays, but it won't be 5 more years until everyone has access to a relatively good high-speed internet in North America. Europe, I'm pretty sure, is working on some stuff. I'm pretty sure they already have a pretty good internet over there in Europe. A lot of countries are making an effort, because in 2022, it's important to have a decent internet to be able to participate in today's civilization where we're moving on. There's Web 3.0 conversation in the metaverse that we're talking about, that more and more aspects of our life are going to transition into that. Work is going to be impacted with the metaverse. Your own digital ID, the like government IDs, is going to transition into the Web 3.0. A lot of stuff going on. Yep.
I just wanted to say, when I was on vacation and I had my Chromebook, I was playing pretty much all the cloud, but it was, and it had good Wi-Fi, but if you wanted a Wi-Fi boost, it was an extra $10, and you pay the $10 on your credit card, and they would give you a Wi-Fi boost. So I never heard of that. I was like, wait a minute, what the hell is a Wi-Fi boost? Even on the airplane, even flying on the damn plane.
It's a buzzword.
Like, hey,
it's just a word they use to say that they're going to give you a boost, and really it's just they want some extra money.
Well, so something
they make it sound fancy.
I just want to add one thing to what Maker was saying a moment ago. So, because I don't know that I explained what I was breaking down very well, since I was getting on to Phil Spencer, I need to do the same thing. Like what Maker was saying about that we're moving towards that, I wholeheartedly agree. We're going to get there. Like, that's going to happen. I think more so what my point was is that in the now, even though we know this, and there is a portion of the consumer marketplace that has acclimated, like you said, Maker, there's still a large percentage of people that haven't. So you kind of want to kind of slowly move that way without like the culture shock, without kind of like putting people in a tough spot. And that's all I'm getting at is I think he just needs to put better context around certain things. And in doing so, then it's fine. Like if you come out and you say, oh, well, this is our plan now, but this is a long-term trajectory, or this is a long-term initiative, it makes it almost seem and sound like, yes, this is what we're doing in the now, but it's a longer-term goal that isn't happening like at 2:00 tomorrow, which that's an exaggeration, but you get what I'm saying. It's not like it's a fast track. So everyone's going to get there eventually. It's just, how do you get everyone to be comfortable with it and not feel like they're being pushed towards it necessarily? And I think that's more so what it is.
To me, I think it's already there, is my thing. I think the people who are blowing this out of proportion don't understand that Xbox is already doing that. Like, look at Redfall and Starfield. Both of those are quote unquote like console exclusives, but they're also going to be on PC and they're going to be in cloud. So that ecosystem is there already. And I think people just can't see that.
But that's consumers though. I mean, that's just the like I know what you're saying and I know what I'm saying, and I think maybe it's more so in the middle, but it's God, I don't know how to say it the right way, because I thought I did, but I don't think I did it again in the second time. It's more that we get it, and there's a large amount of people that get it, but then there's a lot that don't. And whatever the rhyme or reason is, or the rationale, you have to almost lead people to it, and you do it in a way that doesn't like push them away. It's almost the same. Like, think about electric vehicles. That's the same type of mentality that happened with EVs, because people were completely resistant to that. I mean, go back in time. People were resistant to the automobile when there were horses. and you had to slowly move people towards it. So it's a natural human instinct thing that we have that we don't want. We're resistant to change. We always are.
Well,
we're always going to be that way, you know.
I just think it's a lot more accepting now because like look at especially with cloud, like Switch is coming out with cloud games, Xbox, they're embracing the cloud a lot more. So I think it's going to be a lot easier. Like, because I think this is going to blow over. I think this interview with him saying that console exclusives are going to go away will disappear faster than Sony raising the price of the PS5.
I agree with that.
But
Yeah.
we're also seeing something coming in a trend of cloud hybrid games. And at the beginning, like we were talking about Destiny, and I wanted to come back on something on this, and it just reminded me of it right now. There's been some big updates on what's to come to Destiny, and one of the thing is supposedly that they will stop removing content from the game, and from now on, that when you're paying for content in a game, that you will always have access to it. Now, we know one of the main reasons they've been phasing out content of Destiny is the install file size. Could it be possible that we'll see cloud implementation within the game? Because we know that for a while they were talking with a Google Immersive Stream for breaking some deals, Destiny directly and not just for the platform. Could it be possible that eventually we'll get the main worlds that will be installed on your console or in your PC, but then you'll get the worlds that are not part of the main quest just be in the cloud, where you still control your character, it's still local, but your environment all around you is streamed from the cloud, a bit similar to what we're seeing with a New World or Flight Simulator, where you got a cloud-based environment with your local character just to save on some install space. Anyone's got an opinion on this, or?
That's above my pay grade.
I think it's going to be up to Sony because I think Sony would have to back it.
You get paid?
Because to say that they will stop
removing
content, the game file size is going to grow. And we know that when they acquired Haven from Montreal, they got them to start collaborating with all of their other studios. Like, they want their talent, especially their cloud gaming expertise. I'd have to find back. There's an article about this explaining like they really enjoy their cloud gaming expertise because they're making a game that's exactly that. It's a hybrid game. You got some stuff that's loaded locally, but the environment and stuff like that will be in the cloud, because the game is already, like, last year they already were mentioning that it was over a terabyte in size. The PlayStation 5 cannot even have that much data installed on it. And they did confirm that it was a cloud-native, cloud-based game. So, and they did mention also that they were interested in having them collaborate with some other studios to share their knowledge. So I wonder if it's not a conversation between Haven and Bungie over this matter, and they did some tests and it's like confirm, okay, yeah, we're able to do this. And then in the future, we might be seeing some hybrid cloud going over with Destiny. So that'll be very interesting to follow. Nothing.
Come on,
what's the new expansion that's coming out that's got the 80s vibe?
Lightfall
on Destiny?
Right?
It's not called Lightfall, right? It's Lightfall?
It's just Lightfall. Yeah.
Okay.
I said right as in like right. That's it.
No, I didn't. I didn't know for sure. I was like,
yeah, Lightfall.
I wanted to say Lightyear, but then I was like, no, that's the Buzz Lightyear movie.
Yeah, no, it's Lightfall.
I thought you said Light Bright. You're talking 80s. I thought that's where you were going.
Basically, same thing.
Can you imagine that playing with a light bright?
Yeah, that's it.
Lightfall.
Hey,
that might actually get me back into Destiny.
Oh, damn.
And they actually get an annual pass.
You know what else comes out on that day? I think it's Dead Island 2 come out.
Yeah, I won't be playing that. I'll be playing this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
might
like-
get
I
back.
like-
You're not going
because-
to
I like
money for
zombies.
Dead Island 2?
I still
like-
don't.
Vet will be.
Ray
We'll
won't
kill
play that.
zombies together. We'll play together.
I still don't.
I'm surprised you want to.
Yeah, I know. You left me to die.
I don't trust
One time.
that studio too much. Like that the studio that's making the new Dead Island is the studio that did.
Yes, I did, Meg. I did.
They made Red Faction, Armageddon, and Chorus. That's the team behind it.
That's a no-go for me.
Oh, yeah. I might actually get back into Destiny 2 because one of the reason I stopped playing was because they were removing content you were paying for. So
Yeah, they said they're going to stop. They're going to stop.
It's one of the things I've seen. I actually have to look back on all the reveals, but apparently they want to stop removing contents you paid for.
Yes, thank you. That's what everybody else is
Keep on
doing.
building on
Yeah,
the
that's what we've
game.
been wanting.
That's the whole reason why I had no interest in giving them money, because they were literally taking stuff away. Like, no.
The other issue I had was the game started to feel a lot more grindy with the battle passes, and I was not a huge fan of that. I wish they would change.
Pass.
I wish they would change it though. Like I remember the days when it didn't really take me forever to gear up and start doing the raids, and I really liked that era. I think it was like around the first.
Almost what you get for most of these free-to-play things. Anything you're going to be buying, I mean, you're going to have to pay for literally everything.
Question, very quick question. What platforms can you pre-order on? Do we?
I don't think there's one on Stadia.
I'm not trying. Okay, that's what I was curious. Because here's the thing. I'm just going to be honest. This is one that I would probably play on Stadia just because of the convenience of it. So I was just curious.
Honestly, I was originally playing it on Stadia, but then I swapped to GFN and I had a way better experience.
Can I second that for Maker? I played it on Stadia, and I just like yesterday played. Honest to God, played it on GFN. It's like freaking night and day, folks. It's like night and day. I swear to God, night
GFN
and day.
doesn't run
It's
well
one of the best games on Stadia that I had the best experience, but on GFN it is phenomenal.
It's night and day.
Yeah.
Night and day. I gotta be honest.
So
Quicker.
I was showing here, if you go, because they just released the game on the Epic Game Store this week. And it's also on GFN now supports the Epic Game Store version as well. Came out at the same time, so it's one of the great news about GFN. And the Epic Game Store, to celebrate the release, are giving away the Destiny 2 Bungie 30th anniversary pack. That includes quite a few things. Yep.
Yeah. I did want to mention real quick, Chase, I did go to Bungie's website. I clicked pre-order, and then I clicked the Stadia page. It takes you to a broken link.
Come on, man.
It says item not found. Check you have the right URL or browse all games.
So someone needs to, so if there's anyone that's here and listen, I'm not trying to call Stadia out, so don't go in this direction where people are going to freak out about that. But someone in the chat. Someone should reach out to them and say, hey, heads up, the link's broken and it's not working, because that's gonna suck for people, because I use it as like a hybrid kind of thing depending on where I'm gonna play a certain game. So for that, it's not my main, but I know there are people that this is where they primarily play, so you might want to let them know about that, because that's not cool.
They do have a pre-order page on Stadia, but the link doesn't work from Bungie, it seems.
So I wonder whose end it's broken on though. Then
sounds like Stadia's.
Well, at least they've got the pre-order, listed. They just somebody just needs to update the link. Then maybe.
Hold on, let me take a look at this.
I'm just being honest. Like I can't play GFN where I live. It doesn't run very well, unfortunately. Which I wish it did. and Luna is absolutely a no-go. Like that one's the worst out of all three. So that's the only reason. It's just because I just want to be able to boot it up and play it instantly.
How's xCloud work for you? Out of curiosity,
It's
if the other two don't.
It's hit or miss. It's because of the type of internet I have. You know, I've got it's old copper DSL phone line internet, so it's not.
I mean, I had the same issues, and then I got fiber, and like I said, I have no issues or problems, but I had all those problems before fiber. You need fiber in your life, folks.
Yep, fiber.
Lots of fiber. Lots of fiber.
Great.
Just get it all.
Most of the.
I think he's talking about the wrong fiber.
Most of the cloud.
Wait, I was waiting.
Okay, get your fiber.
So, not gonna lie, lately, cloud, other than GFN getting games and some platform getting more games, there isn't as much talk about cloud lately as there was before, like last year.
It's quiet. I think we're definitely going to see it pick up late this year, next year, especially with Xbox. Like getting Redfall, Starfield, all these titles coming to the cloud is going to be a big boon. I don't know what Stadia has other than Destiny 2 and Lightfall, or Destiny 2 Lightfall and Dead Island 2. But
wait,
I mean,
so y'all said the link, if you go to Stadia and you go to Destiny 2 in the store and you click on the Lightfall Plus annual pass, the link doesn't work?
In just the regular game too.
It worked for me. I got it. I mean, I'm not going to spend $100 on it because I don't play Destiny 2, but I pulled it up fine on my end.
DrSpaceman showing.
Well, maybe it's just because y'all. Well,
because man, y'all talk all that junk. That's why. And they said, not you, sucker.
Look, it only works if you're a Stadia Pro member. So, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm a Stadia Pro member.
Well, they know about you.
Apparently.
I just went to Stadia. I went to the store, clicked on Destiny 2, and I saw the add-ons.
You can go to the Stadia store and do it, but from the Bungie website.
Bungie. Oh, well, see, it does on them then.
Okay, it does work on the Stadia store.
Yeah, it works on the Stadia store.
Okay,
just not
you were
Bungie
clarifying things, so that's a Bungie issue then.
So
I said you can pull it up and then you can actually see go to the pre-order page on Stadia.
But who cares about that? Just go to the Stadia store. It's way easier.
It's still not a good look. Like for those going to the Bungie store.
But you got to blame Bungie then. That's their website that's making it a bad look.
To be fair, I misunderstood. I thought it wasn't available at all. So if it's a broken link from the Bungie site, then Bungie needs to update the URL if that's the case. That's not on Stadia.
Here's an interesting thing. They got the collector's edition for Stadia here with no game codes. So it's actually cheaper. I'm guessing it's for Stadia or for whoever just buys the digital edition.
Yeah, because Stadia has on their store, if you go for it, it has the Destiny 2 Lightfall bundle for $50. Destiny 2 Lightfall and the Lightfall pre-order pack, and then for $100, it's the includes the annual pass. So you're getting the Lightfall add-on, a pre-order pack, the annual pass upgrade, Lightfall premium pack, an exotic weapon, and an exotic emote.
Okay,
for $100.
I may drop the 100 on that then. The thing is it just comes down to where is it going to be the easiest place to play it and to get, like, if I have to move from the television to somewhere else. That's all. Otherwise, I would play it on. Well,
you automatically got to go Stadia on that route. Then I mean, even if it's not just Destiny 2, that's probably one of the easiest platforms to jump from device to all over the place.
Well, but I mean, the only reason I'm doing that with this game is because if you put hours into it and you have to move, I think you all understand what I'm saying. Like you put a gaming session.
Yeah, no, I get you on that.
That's the issue. Like if it was another game, like on Xbox, oh my God, Weird West, that you don't have to sit there for hours in that game. And it's a lot of fun.
That game annoyed me. I had no clue what I was doing in that game when I tried it. I was so lost.
Yeah.
So I gave up.
This has crossplay now. So I'll probably pick it up over here.
Okay. Oh yeah. So you see? That's where I got confused too. Is the whole maker just didn't specify properly that it was the Bungie site.
I thought it meant
Phil Spencer over here.
Yeah.
But,
I'm kidding.
one thing I wanted
He's
to bring
gonna get
up
me after the show.
is we've mentioned many times how close of a relationship Sony has with the Epic Game Store. Now, the moment that they completed the transaction, that Sony finalized the Bungie thing, immediately we see the game come onto the Epic Game Store, and not only that, but you go on the Epic Game Store and there's a bundle to get a 30th anniversary pack for free, and if I'm not mistaken, it includes either that or you can claim all of the prior DLC for free on the Epic Game Store. That one, don't quote me on it. I have to confirm. But yeah, they were giving away some free stuff on the Epic Game Store for Destiny 2, which shows once again that Sony and Epic Game Store has a very, very strong partnership.
Yeah.
Feeling a lack of pickles in this chat.
Hold on, I can rectify that. I can rectify that. Hold on, dude.
Is there?
There's not, but it'll be this. Yeah, Tino got it. that's the.
Oh,
I got nothing for that. What that version is?
It's the raw pickle.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
that's the one.
The
that's
raw
Twitch
pickle.
only.
What the hell?
Well, unbrined, on.
That's for
marinated.
Twitch only. That's the Twitch only streams.
Okay,
I don't want to be involved in all this raw pickling.
raw pickling.
Sounds so bad.
Pickle talk, as always.
Oh damn!
Uh,
Oh my god!
it's the lack of brain.
God.
Yeah,
Just add water and salt.
Jesus Christ.
Blame Dino on this one because he's brought it up in the chat with South again. We were staying on topic pretty good for a while. We lost Chase again.
Case is taking a break.
Oh my god, Dino! Seriously, bro.
Turning it into a pickle would definitely make it salty.
Yep. Oh well. So, was there any other news you guys wanted to talk about?
I gotta get off. I gotta get on the cloud so I can get some Spider-Man playing. You know, because Spider-Man's in the cloud.
Oh
Just
yeah,
throw it out. And Luna dropped some pretty good ones. I'm debating on that Metal Slug.
I want to play the Endling game. I've heard it's pretty good, and I've been interested in it.
Although
Endling?
I'm not even gonna say anything with the. I'm gonna stay quiet on the Family Channel games. That's gonna rip that apart.
Tetris Effect's really good. I played that when it was on Game Pass.
Smurf.
I remember Tetris Effect.
Papa Smurf, y'all.
Don't
Papa
start.
Smurf.
How's the soundtrack in that?
Oh, Tetris Effect is great. I really like the music, and the visuals are really good on it.
Well, I guess if you stream it on Twitch, you'd be able to get away with the music, wouldn't you?
I don't know about that. I think you still need like streamer mode or something.
Yeah.
But Twitch has gotten a lot better. Like
Yeah,
it
they've
used
gotten
to
way
be on
more
Twitch.
lenient.
The moment you had like a second of a track that was protected, your channel was in the takedown, and they actually paid you rights to have that rectified.
So, I mean, I just want your guys' thoughts on Spider-Man hitting the cloud, regardless of the platform that it landed on. Just in general, is that like worth big news because it's Spider-Man?
I think that's great. I honestly, a lot of people are not speaking about Booster Ride, but you got to give it up. They do have a lot of games that you won't see on the cloud, but they have it. So you got to give it up. You got to give it up to them.
They're getting a lot of games.
They're getting
That's
a lot
all
of
for
games.
them.
There's a lot. There's a crap ton of haters out there that don't understand. That just assume it's either they're doing illegal stuff, or they're Russians, or
Because it's just too good. You know what? It's just too good to be
Ukrainians.
true. That's why. It's just too good to be true.
And I said this in my chat. I said the problem with this is that everyone takes Boosteroid and base it off of, well, how are they able to do that and GFN's not? Because that's your two main PC gaming, cloud gaming services. Well, GFN can't do that because it's just an add-on to their graphics business. Their graphics business is what has the contracts with all these other entities. They can't afford to just add game. I'm sure they could, but that's going to mess up that the primary business.
Yeah,
Boosteroid doesn't
relations.
have that issue. They don't have. They're just able to get the games. They get, they listen to the Twitter, they listen to social media, they see what gamers want, they try to get the game, and then they put it on there. The relationships that NVIDIA has in general is what prevents GFN from getting just about any game that, like this, like Spider-Man or God of War, or whatever it is. And I don't think that most people understand that's how that works. So they just go with whatever you hear on Twitter, Boosteroid's evil, they're doing all this shady business practices and whatnot, and just using all this ill-gotten money and whatnot, and it's all nonsense.
I'll say I think it's good that Boosteroid's getting it, but I think Spider-Man's like the talk about Spider-Man has kind of died down since it came out. I think a lot of people have already played, either beat it or have moved on. And I think that's why you're not seeing a lot of people talk about it right now.
Yeah.
Here's
another news. Oh,
yeah, that was shown at Gamescom.
No, go ahead. We can move on. I pretty much said it all.
Sony finally announced the rumored PlayStation Pro controller that they have been working on, the DualSense Edge wireless controller. And
how much is this going to set me down?
I don't think they revealed the price,
no price yet.
Not yet.
I
don't want sticker shock.
Bro, I saw a meme where you can fit your credit card inside like a slot for the controller to slide your credit card in. Somebody was making a meme, making jokes.
My estimate is between 200 and 250.
I think it'd be
love that.
Yeah, maybe it'll be the same prices. It could be the same price as the console at this rate. I mean, why not? You're already increasing.
Because if you compare like I'm speaking in Canadian prices though. You have to be aware. I'm speaking Canadian.
Okay.
I love that pad.
So yeah, a bit lower in American price.
It's still going to be expensive, folks. And American
probably
price
around $200. It's
going to be expensive.
Maybe 160 to 200 United States.
But hey, at least it will have full support on Mac OS and iOS and every other Apple device. It'll be fully supported.
The thing is, the controller looks, in my opinion, it has some very interesting features, and the build looks amazing. So you got like everything the DualSense has, like the regular PS5 controller, it's in there, but you have like some additional buttons on there, so you don't have to click your pads, like you just hit those. On the back, you can change the action of your triggers, so that will be really appreciated. So that you can put it on a long action, like one of the example that were given. You're playing a racing game and you want to control like your throttle, your brakes, and everything. You have full control, and it's individual, so you can put one with long action, one with short action. If you're playing a shooter or a fighter, you need quick reaction. Put it on short action.
Does this top anything Xbox has currently?
Yes. I'm not finished explaining everything, but 100% this will beat the Xbox Pro controller.
Everything you already stated beats Xbox at this point. You're not even
got the back.
Hey, you can't stand it out and get your name put on it and get beautiful colors.
You can't with Xbox either. Not with the Pro controller.
Sony doesn't allow that you to deface the gloriousness of the controller. Like
You have the buttons here on the back that can be swapped with either that or the long arms, like the paddles.
I wonder if there's like a trade-in. Can I trade in my old
And-
DualSense and get some money off?
is there a fingerprint sensor? That's what I want to know.
Pretty sure
Does
it's
it have
gonna
the
be in
retina
the
scanner?
video. But
Can we
there's
have
a
do we have a
very,
retina scanner
very
option?
interesting feature coming. We're gonna see it in a second.
Ooh, I love when they do these videos.
The teardowns, where they show you how they
Back
made
it
it.
up because it's kind of freezing a little bit for some reason. Won't be long.
It's my internet.
Yeah, it's totally Vet's internet that's screwing up my video. So the thumbsticks are swappable.
Ooh,
Not swappable as in position, but you can that module, it's not just a 3D design they're doing. You can actually like lift up the cover and pull out the thumbstick so that if you get any my video is screwing all over for some reason.
They just like pull that thing right out.
You can pull your stick out.
Yep,
Okay.
something like that. But
What's
the thing,
going there?
okay, it's that
What do you
module
mean,
here. Here, go away. So those things you can actually buy replacements, because one of the problems with controllers is that like the thumbsticks, you
Yep.
have little elastic bands in it. Eventually, you can experience controller drift. Also, over time, like you'll have a dead zone in the middle.
Yeah.
And
There.
you pay a
Or, you know-
controller $300, and that thing starts happening to your controller. If you want to repair that, it's pretty complicated, and there's chances you might break your controller.
Right.
Now, Sony, what they're doing is you actually have a cover that's made to be opened that you can pull out individually. Those you can replace the little cap on it, but you can take out the whole module, the thumbstick, buy
All right.
another one at the store, include it, put it back in, and you have a brand new
So
thumbstick.
I think
in
that's
your
great.
controller.
I like that because
do you know how many people that like rage in games, like, and you know, may accidentally break the thumbsticks almost immediately after playing a game?
Well, no, I just wear my stick down.
I have the Elite
The
series.
rubber's all
Mhm.
off, and it gets stuck in the corner. Vet, get your mind out of the gutter, dude. Jesus Christ.
So
But I think it's good that they have finally getting an Elite series controller. That was one thing that I was
All right, I'm good.
hoping that they would get. Am I gonna get it? Maybe not. I feel like I need to play games more competitively on my PlayStation for me to want to get something like that. I know I use my Xbox controllers a lot with my PC, and so that's why I got the Elite series.
The only thing
I got a
think I
dual
could-
sense that I use well on PC.
the only thing
and
I
it
see
works
that
well.
being really geared for though would be like esports. I think that would be a great. Do you think it'd be up just casual gamers? Because I mean,
Well,
based it off the
it's-
price, I don't know. Casual gamers are gonna.
not casual gamers, but everyone who spends a lot of time
Pit
gaming.
stop. Yeah. All right, I'm ready.
But that's the other group that would love that feature is the fact that like there are people that just mash the crap out of their controllers, you know, getting with rage. You know, there are the rage gamers that are out there that break controllers.
I would be the good public for that. Personally, I know. It's basically if you do a lot of shooters, if you do like fighter games, can use those features really well, like the
don't
back
remind me of
buttons.
fighter
and that.
games, mashing those buttons down.
Well, my question is, how long do they like? I know I put that in the private chat. But how long do they support this? Like, whenever you get these like pro controllers, in the past, I'm just thinking past scenarios, they don't move across generations, and I get it. They want to make money, but at the same time, I think we need to get to a place where it's a controller that can move across generations. And if they're going to make it to where like you can move components across, like not components across, but
Oh, I get where you're going.
interchange components and update it and customize it and all of that, you're spending that kind of a price point. I think that's kind of the place we got to get to.
You would think that they would be able to with like a simple firmware update, though.
Isn't the PS4 controller usable on the PS5?
Only for PS4 games, I believe.
Yeah,
Right.
But I see where Chase is going with this is where like this Pro controller needs to be compatible with the next generation, whatever, if they come out with the PS6, or they need to come out with a controller that, like I said, a firmware update, something that can push an update through into it that allows it to just go from one system to the next instead of constantly going.
If it's the base controller that comes with the console, I get that. That's a throwaway device.
Right.
But like when you start getting to the price of like the Xbox Elite controller and then this controller, like they should try to future proof it as much as possible. I get it. It can't be every generation. Like that would be ridiculous, but at least make a commitment to, we're going to do our best to make it go into the next generation and we'll see where we are at that point, kind of a deal,
And that's where Xbox is really good about supporting, like the Xbox One controllers work for the games on Xbox Series. Like I can use that controller for my Xbox One or my Series X, and
well, that's been always kind of been a Microsoft thing though, hasn't it, really, with their controllers, kind of the support that they do, even back with the 360, and era, and stuff like that. They were always kind of backwards compatible, minus maybe the OG Xbox.
Yeah.
I just think it should be like, I'm not trying to pick on one or the other. I just think it should be an industry standard, like especially for those controllers. Like again, if it's just the base controller that you get with the box when you first buy the console, I don't expect that to necessarily carry over. Like Maker said, if they do, great. I mean, that's nice. But I think it's more so when you pay that premium price points, like a Mercedes, right, or a BMW. You expect that there's going to be some type of support over a decent amount of time. It's not going to go away overnight. That's all.
Go the Samsung route, or even the Google, where like Samsung supporting for updates and things like that, OS updates. I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult to at least one more generation to make your $300 or $400 controller work with the next system. So you're not having to shell out another $300 to $400 every year.
The DS4, like the DualShock 4, is still on sale in the stores right now. You can still easily buy them. They're still pretty used, even on PC gaming. It's still a pretty popular controller because the PlayStation controllers have such a minimal latency. It works extremely well. You can use it on PC. You can use it with the NVIDIA Shield. You can use it with the Chromecast, with a Google
Android
TV.
phones,
You can use
iPhones.
Yeah, you can use it with tablets, with a bunch of devices. They still get a strong support. As for the replacement module, I can see it slipping into the next generation that you will still be able to buy those little modules, and it's kind of a stretch, but the DualSense has so much interesting feature. What else can they do with a controller? I'm pretty sure they'll find something else to do.
I'm telling you, it's gonna have a retina scanner and a fingerprint sensor. Watch.
But it's a pretty advanced controller. I can see it being used for quite a while, more than 5 years. Which is, if you buy the controller right now, 5 to 10 years is pretty good life out of a controller. So I don't see like them discontinuing support as such a problem because they're releasing it now.
Steer my car.
It should still be
sold.
on sale and supported for a while, in my opinion. I don't think that'll be a problem.
That would be amazing.
What is it you said that?
No, it's something I read in the private message.
No, I said what they'll do is they'll add a Pizza
Hut button.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be great.
That'll be the innovative feature that they do for the next generation.
Either that or they're going to
Amazon add some buttons like that, like you run out of dish soap, You just click the button and it adds one to
you have-
your
I
order.
remember when
came
they
out with.
had the damn keyboard on the controller. Oh my god!
But watch the next gen feature for the PlayStation Pro controllers is going to be they'll push out a firmware update and say, hey, guess what? Now you can use your controller as your steering wheel in your car. We're just going to link it all up. There
You're
you go.
laughing,
Uh,
but that could happen.
There was already
If you-
self-driving cars.
Well, if you watched
Here we
Apple's
go,
event a
folks.
while back with the dash, that whole cluster, it's going to be an entire Apple basically computer built in. Everything is going to just be one giant Apple touchscreen. Your odometers or speedometer, the RP, everything will all be just controlled by Apple. So that's how it's going to start, and then you'll just take your PS5 controller, link it with your car, and there's your steering wheel.
Someday we won't be able to drive anymore. It'll be all automated.
I mean, I'm okay with
Probably.
that as long as I don't play video games. I'm good. I'll head out to California and hang out with Ray, let my car do the driving.
Any other news you guys wanted to jump on?
Not that I'm aware of.
Everybody's quiet.
I know. We kind of. I blame Dino.
How do you follow up after the Pizza Hut button, though? I mean, you really can't.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's a mic drop.
Pac-Man,
It's a mic-
there's
it's
a
mic
new
drop.
Pac-Man world. There's a new Pac-Man world. That's all I got.
Well, right after the Pizza Hut button, you got the Dairy Queen button.
Ooh, Dairy
Don't
Queen.
play.
All
Don't
right.
play around with that.
Dairy Queen.
Give me
Love
some
it.
fried chicken.
I could go
fried
for a
chicken button,
Blizzard.
too.
I could go for a Blizzard right now.
Ooh,
I got a Culver's
Oh,
right across the street
that's-
from me.
Oh, and the
Dude, I
classic
got-
triple chocolate brownie from
I
Dairy
got
Queen.
briskets and links. My wife got tonight.
Okay, well, Ray, you're out in California. You got everything out there.
You don't got
Hey,
both
Sam, what
jingles.
you doing?
I would
Nothing much.
pay to
Just
get
trying
both
to finish
jingles.
the
that was
game while
that
driving
was
cross
fantastic when I
country.
stopped there. Oh, I'm so glad
Shut
I
up, you
stopped there.
bastard. Shut up.
Anyway, I
just
think we're
needed
gonna
the-
wrap
needed
this up
Golden Corral.
now. So, Ray, where can we find you?
Well, if you guys go to Ray3473 on Twitter, I redid my schedule. I'm only going to be streaming 4 nights, folks. And Tuesday, I'm going to be like going between all the different cloud platforms on Tuesdays. But tomorrow, I'm doing some. What the hell am I doing? I'm doing some Stadia Wreckfest. Sunday, there's a new Xbox fighting game. I'm going to stream that on Ray3473, Twitch TV, and then just go to Ray3473. You can see me. I'm doing a show in the morning, and then I do my retro show Sunday. I'm doing cloudy reviews tomorrow with Lo-Fi Monk and Retro Rewind Sunday, and Sports Talk on Tuesday nights with Vet, where we talk about his horrible Washington Commanders.
Oh, shut
There
up!
you go. I'm
Really?
done.
How'd that Niners game go yesterday?
Preseason. Then you have no stars out there, dude. And our offensive line sucks. Our offensive line sucks.
Okay.
So
you,
happy to see you healthy,
hear it.
Ray, by the way.
I know.
Happy
It
to
is.
see you
Good
back
to
on.
have
I'm glad to
back,
be
man.
back. I'm glad to be back. I missed you guys, man. I missed you guys. Except for Vet.
Just going to read what Dino said before we proceed for the rest of the wrap up.
Oh
He
yeah.
said,
we
you
gotta
can
have
find Doc surfing the web, Ray staying hydrated, enjoying a neighbor's rave, Vet starting his OnlyFans chase, finding a cool rave as well as his neon lights, and finally, Maker will be in my closet playing too many games in his spare time.
That was
Wow.
Vet. That was Vet, Chase. That was Vet, man. He does that. He can't help himself, you know. He can't help himself, you know. It happens.
Skinny Vet showing us some skin. And Maker, what about you? Where can we find you, man?
You can find me at YouTube on Cloud Gaming Extreme or CGX. I know they recently came out with they rebranded their Steam Deck channel to CGX Deck. So you might want to check that out if you have a Steam Deck. It has some tips and stuff for
Can't
Steam
afford that.
Deck.
Nice.
And you can also find me on Twitter at Maker of Chaos 12, and that's about it, honestly.
Well, can't we find you at like literally one of every Anthony's streams too, right? Every one of his talk shows.
Not
I'm almost positive we
everyone,
can find you there.
but once a week probably.
BBC streams, folks. BBC streams.
Yep. I see you waving over there. See you in the background.
What?
Oh wow, yeah. Incidents happen apparently.
Holy God!
Vet, where can we find you?
Vet Club Gaming on YouTube and Twitter. Tuesday night sports talk. Monday, Wednesday, Friday I do streams from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Fridays it's 11 a.m. until whenever we finish. It'll always be co-streaming Friday Fortnights with Meg on Fridays, and then otherwise Monday, Wednesday I do other stuff. Once school starts for my kid, then I'll be back to a 5-day schedule doing streams.
Awesome. And Chase, thank you so much for coming in. It's great having you. Where can we find you? Go ahead, sell yourself, sell your channel, what's to come, what's going on with Chase the Gaming Advocate.
So September 10th, I will be back doing content, new time, 11 a.m. Eastern time for Saturday morning coffee talk. And then going to be doing something a little bit special for that episode. It'll be a longer episode than normal. We're going to have some guests stopping by to talk about this Warner Media Discovery situation, because it is going to be something that we all need to pay very close attention to over the next year. And I actually think it'll be shorter than that, like we talked about tonight, but I still think the ramifications of it play out over the next year. I don't think that situation's going away anytime soon.
Great.
Oh, and I didn't say where you can find me. Sorry. You can find me at youtube.com/The Gaming Advocate. You can find me on Twitter at Phantom UFC Fan.
Chase.
Okay.
Awesome.
It's
and
okay.
what about gameplay?
the
Are you
chat
still doing some gameplay streams here and there, or?
I haven't been, just because I've been so busy, but once we get back to kind of a normal schedule, that's usually on Friday nights that I do that. So I pick a game and I just play. It's usually either a first person or a third person shooter. It's either Halo, it might be Division 2. It just kind of depends on what kind of mood I'm in. It won't be Rogue Company until they fix that game. Looking at you, High Res.
Will we see some Destiny 2?
You might actually, yeah, especially next year, depending on how that new expansion goes. I just love 80s themed stuff, and I liked the soundtrack that they played for that. It actually got me.
You're gonna have to put the DeLorean in the game.
They better.
If they don't, that's not.
If they don't, hold on. That's your point.
Okay.
If they don't, I will ask for my refund.
They have a grapple hook, so they
That doesn't
It's not
count.
the same as it's not the same as a DeLorean. I'm just saying.
Awesome stuff. As for me, there's always the Monday night Fortnite usually. Sometimes multiverses, depends. And every Thursday night, well, we're gonna have to check. When we're now Friday, we still have to verify what will be from now on our regular schedule.
Friday works for me. I like Fridays.
Yeah, we could be a regular Friday thing. We'll look what's going on with this, and we'll keep you updated. So you can find me on Twitter,
like
DrSpaceman Media. So on this, thank you so much, everyone in the chat, for joining us. Really appreciate you all. It's been great coming back from that bit of a summer stretch. Everyone being all over the place. So great to see you all. So everyone say bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.
Yes.